Oshinwo kareho, jaleken komopi, nokochoko ekun egbeshin, chogbidi, lamambi fe wohanye po, wohanye demrifa die. Infansifu nyina Neze yen inkranfo a wofri la aza atwa wenwem nti yenye won rekwa kosu nti neze yen nyina yerkola owo nkran mantan mu because one chief ni Dr. Tete Churu the third waka baby la mambi fe won hanye po lebine. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. We are in mourning together with the people of La who are burying their chief tomorrow, and this whole week they've been going into his final funeral rites. They've been performing some rites to see him off in a befitting way. So today we are all in solidarity with La. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. We'll be talking to the ladies on the headlines. We'll have tech tips also at 6:30. Today we are going to have a new entrant to the show, and that is in the form of Unique FM's morning show. So you'll see snippets of it on the show this morning. Don't want to miss what we have planned with Rocky Dawuni later on, but Valerie will tell us all about that.
So on this side, we'll be keeping an eye, like T said, we are mixing it up and jazzing up with radio, and so we'll be keeping an eye with our guys from radio who you meet later on in the show. We'll be doing that from Kaneshi. We'll be looking at market sanitation at the market. We'll be looking at the hikes of food prices, and also we'll be looking at food increments. And then on our cooking session, we have some sizzling apaprensa and something called the rice drink. But there's somebody who is warring, he's warring. Cow!
So who are you? Okay, let's put that knife somewhere safe.
Okay.
So who are you?
Okay.
You are keeping us safe.
How do you say?
So Ashanti is also mourning with La today. You have to speak a few words in Ghana.
Nanakasa.
Cafe.
Moti.
Nana Brebre.
Nana Jubril.
There you go. So the Ashanti people are also mourning with the La people today, and that's why all of us are in our red and black. It's now time to hit up with our fixer Mortiti for the breakfast news, and she is also going to be in solidarity with the people of La. So she will also be dressed to reflect that exact funeral that will be joining later on in the show. This is Mortiti with breakfast news. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on GTV Breakfast News. I am representing someone going for the funeral of the La people. We are mourning with the La people today. I am Multi-Decider Sadek, and in the news making headlines, we'll be looking at the conflict in Boku and also what is happening in sanitation. Let's start off from Boku, where the chief of Pusiga in the Pusiga district of the Upper East region, Nabatambis Baluk Konwiak, is calling for security protection in his palace. Now, the chief made the call when he addressed the media yesterday at his palace, I beg your pardon. The media briefing comes on the heels of a violent clash between the military and residents on Wednesday. 2 persons were shot dead, while 3 soldiers were with 11th Mechanized Infantry Battalion based in Bazua sustained injuries during a gunfight at Barbari Buabula
a suburb of Boko in the Upper East region. Our reporter Peter Gengre briefs us on this development.
The chief yesterday that a lot of police and military personnel were deployed to his house, that they came to search his house, and it was like that they suspected that some of the suspects were hiding in his house, and so they were there to search and find out if there were some suspects hiding in his house. They were also there to search if there were some weapons that he was hiding or the suspects might have kept in his house. When they came and searched, but they did not find anybody. They did not find any of the suspects. Neither did they find any weapon in his house. And so, because of that, the chief thinks that he has been exposed to the general public, that he has nothing in his house to protect himself. And for that matter, he may be attacked by people. So that's why he called for that press conference, calling on authorities, calling on the security agencies in Boku to really send people military or get him protection.
What is the current security situation in Boku?
This afternoon at that particular side, that's the highways, and so a lot of them were running for their lives. A lot of food, those chop bars, people were selling a lot of things there, a lot of them destroyed, but there was no casualty actually recorded. There is curfew that starts from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Though many people came out to continue with their business, but some of them were still afraid that because of the presence of the military and the police in town, so a lot of them were afraid.
We understand the injured soldiers have been flown to Accra for further treatment. Can you confirm this to us?
That is, actually from the municipal chief executive, he said that, some of the who were injured have been flown to Accra for medical attention.
You mentioned the municipal chief executive. MUSEC, have they had any meetings so far on the security situation?
There was a meeting with the security, the military, the police, and after which they deployed a lot of them to the various vantage points to ensure security.
Away from that, let's look at sanitation. And on an inspection of dredging works on the Kole Lagoon in Accra, the Works and Housing Minister, Mr. Francis Asenso-Boakye, said Ghanaians must practice proper waste disposal and management, especially with reference to solid waste. He said reducing, reusing and recycling is the way to go to keep an environment free from filth.
The Works and Housing Minister was saddened at the state of the Kole Lagoon during his inspection. The minister was worried with the indiscriminate disposal of solid waste into the drains and the ocean, which has dire consequences on Ghana's economy.
It costs a lot of money. And once it's government spending the money, it means that it's Ghanaians spending the money. It's our own money. And we cannot continue to spend our own money just because of our irresponsible behavior. Under no circumstance should anybody dump solid waste into a drainage channel.
Mr. Asenso-Boakye said civil and concrete works, including others, are being undertaken from the Ikwapim range down to Accra to reduce flooding, especially in Accra. He said government spends a lot of money to dredge periodically, monies which could have been used for some good cause. The operations manager for Dredge Masters, Mr. Kofi Adiapena, suggested measures to curb the menace.
So it's not just enough to clear the squatters, but put a monitoring system, a control monitoring system where after the activity is carried out, there are some officials positioned to do a routine check to ensure that after the clearance, they map out a buffer area where no one is to come into that area.
The minister, following the inspection, engaged the squatters in the area and educated them on how throwing solid waste into the lagoon cost the country financially. Dredging the Odo River and the Kole Lagoon has remained an annual ritual for many years. Dredge masters has been on site since December 2015. They say this phase will be completed in 3 months, and the dredgers say they are ahead of schedule.
Let's move to employment and labor. And the Public Services Workers' Union, PSWU, has given the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission a 2-week to open negotiations for conditions of service of GBC staff. Its failure will compel staff of the public service broadcaster to advise themselves. Speaking to GBC News after a debate with the staff in Accra, the national chairman of the PSWU, Brother Ken Kudia, said the union has done all that is required of it since May 2021. He said the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has over the years used tact to delay opening negotiations with the union. Mr. Kudia said letters to this effect have been submitted to the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations and the TUC.
Felt that we should come today and have these issues redressed. These issues are issues that border on the welfare of the employee, GBC staff. I don't want to read the issues, but the salary and category 2 and 3 allowance issue and staff condition of service issues are things that we must address. Not only that, the issue about union leadership also in GBC. And the meeting was very clear. Monday has been given that we should do whatever it takes, not to solve the leadership issues in GBC, union leadership, and also address the staff welfare issues. And I'm giving my assurance and commitment as a chair that I would ensure that these issues are addressed. And staff are giving me the mandate, and the timelines, and the support that I need to have these issues addressed in GBC. And that I'll see to it.
Let's look at fuel prices. And transport unions and drivers have worried over the increases in fuel prices. The commercial drivers are threatening to increase transport fares beyond the 15% agreed rate if the fuel prices continue to go up. At the negotiation table with the government recently, transport unions proposed a 30% increase in transport fares, but the government approved 15%.
Fuel na abana toso no uhwemu a eyesisi na osisi yan sanse unim se obeto so a enhwem yento lorry fare so ansana asan abetum biem. That means nya ye no bibia ama ho mfaso bia ama so enti media nra ye panyin ba ko bekasa wo TV so say seni aban na ye no etumi o my 15%. Say 15% no was to so foforo biemu a okay ye no so yanya nde enti ye hwe nanim se wenya asempa bi anka nkyere yan e besa to fair no so biemu.
Lolly for your team recently 50%. You want to fool 3 times now. 3 times in ye. Ye hu ni enye. Ye hu kire papa. Ye hu ni enye wa blabo we mu. But ye ni buafobia because aban no ka kura. No ya no ye. O ka no de atoa. O ka no de atoa. Kwese da wa for so no. Ye ni buafobia, ye ni kama phobia be kama yen. Ene ye no ma ye di eti pempem. Eti blena na ye nyina ye bla ye go manu.
Fuel no surprise no too much abanye bebe mfa won emaye because say obey ejuma the whole day and the day utofo na scan nyina asa na say ejuma na wo ye no wonya mfa so bia wo so ya mafo beble obi mo yere enimba because obebe ejuma ejuma umfa hwe nko fie de na say wo di 3 fie kura po da ya na kan fa so wo so na 50% wo go say be ka.
The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has handed over a successful National Reading Radio Program, NRP, and its material aids to the Ministry of Education for onward distribution to related agencies. The child-centered reading radio program, which is in English and Guinean languages, is an educational intervention instrument that the U.S. agency developed to fill a gap created by the lockdown restrictions of COVID-19. The official handing over of the program took place at the head office of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, which is a major partner in the program.
The National Reading Radio Program, NRRP, was launched in 2020 as part of the Ghana Learning Radio Program intended to mitigate learning loss that might result from school closures occasioned by the social distancing requirements of the COVID-19 pandemic in Ghana. The Learning Radio Program was broadcast nationwide on all GBC radio stations, local private radio stations, and community information centers. Statistics show that over the 18-month period, an average of 57% of the program beneficiaries, that is, pupils from kindergarten 2 to basic 4, moved up to higher English reading skills, which in effect means that instructional hours were actually not lost during the period.
Together, we set the goal to achieve higher reading achievement in English for levels B1 through B3, as well as in Ghanaian languages for KG2 through B4. The National Radio Reading Program made connections even while we were separated and apart during COVID. We connected with millions of children, families, and communities. At the end line of this program, an average of 57% of children moved up to a higher English reading level, despite the pandemic. It's significant as other countries, other students are falling behind. Here in Ghana, we had the ability for our students to move up.
With GBC being a major partner in this initiative, the Director General, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, pledged the corporation's continued support to ensure the continuity of the program.
Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, it is 6 years old now, has always had a mandate to do education through media. We started schools broadcast in 1952, and we were very delighted to have the opportunity to go back to our mandate that we were supposed to do. And for the service we rendered, for the participation, the collaboration we did with the Ministry of Education and the USAID, we want to assure you that we are always available for further collaborations on anything to do with education through media.
The Deputy Minister for Education, Reverend Dr. John Ntim Fodwo, described the National Reading Radio Program as a rewarding educational tool. He said the ministry would make it a permanent part of Ghana's educational system.
We are grateful to USAID for this partnership and grateful to GBC for the support given. And we would want to assure you that our agencies, Ghana Education Service, SENDLOS, and Ghana Library Authority are all very ready and excited to own this and to take it further. With the support of NTC and NASIA and NACA, we hope to be able to embed this into the repository of teaching and learning material and teaching apparatus that we currently have in our system, and to count on the continued support with USAID and GBC in this respect.
The National Reading Radio Program was initiated by USAID in collaboration with partners including the Ministry of Education, Ghana Library Authority, Center for National Distance Learning and Open Schooling, the National Teaching Council, UNICEF and GBC to improve learning outcomes in Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo has paid glowing tribute to Ghana's first female general in the army, Brigadier General Constance Emefa Agyenu Afenu, in describing the passing of Brigadier General Constance Emefa Agyenu Afenu as a great loss to the nation and the family. The president pledged to join the family to mourn and bid her farewell on March 25, 2022 at the Burma camp in Accra. Brigadier General Emefa Agyenu Afenu died on January 24, 2022 after a short illness.
The lady we're talking about has gone to meet her maker, very distinguished woman, very distinguished citizen, very well respected. I had a telephone call from Antonio Guterres on the news of her death to show you how respected she was in the global community, the Secretary General of the United Nations himself. And it's a matter of considerable sadness.
President Akufo-Addo's high respect for Brigadier General Constance Emefa Ejenu Afenu, the first female to achieve this pinnacle in Ghana's army. The chief of Avetime Traditional Area, Tepo, who led a delegation from Ho to the Jubilee House, said the late Brigadier General Constance Emefa Ejenu Afenu had plans to ensure that girls in the community attain the heights of education, but unfortunately, she was called home to give account of her service on earth.
We are proposing, Your Excellency, that a boys' dormitory block for the Avetime Senior High School be constructed in her honor. That will create the opportunity for many people in Avetime, many young boys in Avetime, to go to school and also to support your free SHS agenda.
She was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces on April 25, 1980 as a second lieutenant after 18 months of regular training at the Ghana Military Academy. After the training, she served as a platoon commander at the 2nd Battalion of Infantry in 1980 for a regimental training. She became the first one to be appointed Deputy Military Advisor at the Permanent Mission of Ghana to the UN, New York till 2016. Brigadier General Ejenu Afenu also participated in UN peacekeeping operations in Gambat and Unifil 1984 and 1988. Edward Nyakon, reporting for GBC News.
And as we mourn the chief of the La Traditional Area, the leadership of Parliament led by the first Deputy Speaker, Mr. Joseph Osei-Owusu, has called on the family of the late Paramount Chief of La Traditional Area, Nikbobi Tete Churu, to commiserate with them at La in Accra.
The late Ni Dr. Kpobi Tete Churu III was installed in April 1988 as the paramount chief of the La Traditional Area. He was the president of the La Traditional Council and served his community for 32 years. His contribution towards the development of the traditional area can hardly be overlooked. The Traditional Council has banned social gatherings ahead of the funeral of the paramount chief of La Traditional Area, Ni Dr. Kpobi Tete Churu III, who died on February 4, 2019 at age 89. The leadership of Parliament, led by the first Deputy Speaker, Mr. Joseph Osei-Owusu, made a cash donation of 20,000 cedis and assorted drinks to support the La Traditional Council. The Member of Parliament for Dodo-Dio-Dio, Mr. Edwin Nilante Vanderpoy, said Parliament will support the Traditional Council in these trying times. The Lashiketele Ni Ajay Kofe, who received the items on behalf of the La Traditional Council, thanked the leadership of Parliament for their gesture. The week-long funeral, which commenced on March 14, 2022, will end on the 20th of March 2022.
On the international front, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has apologized to his countrymen over some recent economic issues centering on fuel scarcity and power grid failures.
In a statement issued via Twitter, the Nigerian leader said he deeply regrets the inconvenience caused Nigerians following a prolonged shortage of petroleum products. His apology comes after weeks of fuel scarcity and energy crisis that have overwhelmed the West African country, causing long queues at filling stations and affecting many households. Earlier this week, a nationwide grid failure worsened the energy crisis. Till date, many Nigerians say they still do not have access to electricity as the problem lingers on. In the statement, the president noted that his administration was aware that the fuel shortage has placed a strain on Nigerian citizens and businesses. He also apologized to every Nigerian for the inconvenience and then promised that his government was working hard to address the issues soonest. An action plan agreed upon earlier this month is being implemented to address the scarcity. The government is working together with the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria and the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria.
A compromise for a waiver of intellectual property rights on vaccines against COVID-19 has been reached between 4 major manufacturing players. The World Health Organization says they are calling for other member countries to be convinced.
The World Trade Organization WTO chief Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala on Wednesday highlighted the decisive progress made by the European Union, the United States, India and South Africa on a waiver to the agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights for the production of COVID-19 vaccines. Adam Hodge, spokesman for the U.S. Trade Representative, had announced a compromise paving the way to a concrete and significant result. The compromise does not aim to dismantle the current intellectual property system, but facilitate the granting of compulsory licenses in the face of the COVID pandemic, but also for future health crises. Under the WTO agreement, a compulsory license exists, making it possible authorities to use a patent without the authorization of its holder, a system that provides for compensation to the group at its origin. Once the compromise has been validated politically, the EU, the United States, India and South Africa will have to convince the other members of the WTO where decisions are taken by consensus. Switzerland, which is home to major pharmaceutical companies, has repeatedly expressed its strong reservations about the principle of a waiver of intellectual property rights.
This is where we draw the curtain on GTV Breakfast News at 6 a.m. I am Malti Tisaida Sadiq. Up next is the weather report, after which Kafui, Valerie and Thelma take over with the rest of the show.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try our suicide. Let bygones be bygones. I didn't see what the bottom go do. We dey go straight to stardom. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah, yeah. Take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go
boldness level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet. And the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
In the first 2 years, your baby will experience amazing growth in so many ways. To fuel it, they need the right nutrition. With Cerelac, 1 bowl of goodness a day provides the wholesomeness of carefully selected grains, the Iron Plus, which helps support brain development, and the yummy taste baby loves, assuring you the right nutrition in 1 bowl. Cerelac, it's all good, Mom.
This advert is FDA approved.
All SIM cards in Ghana must be registered again with only the Ghana card. Yes, only the Ghana card.
You will not be able to make voice calls, use mobile money, and all other services linked to your SIM card if you don't.
To register, dial *404# and follow the prompts. You will be required to send the following details on your Ghana card: Ghana card number, surname, first name, date of birth, and sex.
You will then receive a special code which you will present to your nearest service provider agent or customer care center for your biometric details to be captured. Remember to add your digital address.
Dial *404# on your phone to start registering your SIM card today.
For more information, contact your service provider on 100 or the National Communications Authority on toll-free number 0800 110622. Register your SIM card to stay connected.
He's worthy of worship. He's worthy of praise now.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars being an African country.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure? Dan Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. March 18, 2022. Still to come, a lot of interesting things here on the show. We've got our tech tips. We've got our sports at 7, headlines at 7:20. We've got conversation with Rocky Dawini, fuel and foodstuff increments as far as prices are concerned. And then Rocky Dawini to just cool everything down at the end of the day. Heritage Month on GTV. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. WhatsApp number 055-556-1034. A comfort transformation courtesy of Rich Cultural on Instagram, IT Culture 2. We're going to be linking up with our colleagues at Unique. We're doing something very interesting and unique today, and we'll find out what's happening there, and they'll also find out what's happening here. And we'll be taking a trip to Kanishi market for some invasion that we want to keep our eyes and ears on. So welcome to the show. It's good to have you here. You can call me Kung Fu Caf. And very soon I'll be linking up with our friends at Unique on their breakfast show to see exactly what's going on. George, can you hear me? If you can, say hello. Okay, so what's up? 0555-556-1034. We've got some food in the house too. So after all this comfort stuff, I'll be hungry, and some food will have to go down definitely. And we're also marking the final journey of the La Manche. So the burial ceremony will be covered by us right here on GTV. So you want to follow that. All citizens of La, we mourn with you, and that's something to look forward to on today's show. Partially accounts why I'm dressed like this, as a traditional warrior, Asafoche. Yes, indeed. And let me know what warrior is in your language, whatever language you speak in Ghana. I would like to know. All right. Okay, we're still trying to link up at Unique on their breakfast show. I wonder whether George can hear me right now. George, hi. I think our spirits have taken over the machines. Very powerful spirits. These spirits were here long before machines were made, you know. So, yeah. So we'll try again if we can link up with George at Unique. George, can you hear me? Okay, I think we should just take a quick break, and we'll be back shortly with tech tips right here on GTV Breakfast. Don't go anywhere. My name is Kaf. So we're now going to be talking about innovations in cyberspace, Ghanaian innovations. And my guest is DK Cyber, David Jedu of DK Cyber GH. Good morning.
Hey. Today I'm not saying.
Do the show.
Thank you. All right. Good morning to our viewers. Today we are doing tech innovations in Ghana here or in the cyberspace. So what we are talking about today is we are looking at some tech innovations in the cyberspace. When I say cyberspace, I mean the internet, the technology world that we find ourselves on your mobile phones, your laptop. You're looking at some innovative things that our tech industry has been able to do locally in Ghana here. So that's what we're talking about today. And the first to start with is an app developed in Ghana here to solve a very serious problem in Ghana here, and that is about education. We all know that, normally there's a big challenge for parents, how they can really send their kids to school, to monitor them, to even tell the school what their kids likes and what they don't like. There's a management software, management app that is called Smart App. Smart App. So SMARTS APP. So basically what this app does is it's quite simple. When you are signed up as a parent or as a student or as a administration or a school, you can really monitor your kids, right? So this morning, assuming maybe you want to send your kids to school and you sign up onto the platform can show you maybe the person going to maybe send your kids to the school, if your kids to whom were they picked by, all those things you can check on the platform. And the platform does a lot of things, even management. I believe some of the schools, we have management softwares, right? So you're asking, so why this? The importance of this is this gives you a lot of other options, advanced options. So assuming maybe you have a child who has so many allergies, it doesn't take this, it doesn't do that. On a platform, you can really communicate. So right now, the parents are on the platform with you, the administration, and you can easily communicate even to how you pay school fees. You can really sign up and have a very well platform or a very well structure to pay your kids' school fees. So I think it's a great app that we all have to start looking into it. So there's an innovation that I think that someone has done in the system and is solving problem, because we've seen a lot of problem in the system. Right, the next one I'll talk about, I'm talking about there are lots of things that tech industry they have done, but we are looking at the ones that are very innovative. I'm looking at the brain behind it, the idea behind it. So one is what we call locker. Locker as in LOCQAR. Yes. So we are looking at a locker. So the locker, what it does is, assuming maybe today you have a parcel sent by CAF. Today you look at how CAF is looking, and maybe it's going to be very confidential, very serious. So you need to be delivered to the client or maybe the third person. How secure is this? So there's this idea behind locker. They have lockers. So you have a unique pin shared between, assuming I want to send CAF something, because today, the way he is, I don't want to go to his word, so I just want to send him something. So CAF will have a pin, I'll also have a pin, right? And the parcel will be sent to CAF. So when the parcel is sent to him, he has a pin to unlock it. So that's what we are looking at, locker. It has a very, I'm just liking the idea behind this whole concept. So when you go on their website, you can really check up and see other services that they provide. So just check up this morning to see. We are looking at the ideas behind these things, the creative, the innovating ideas behind all these things. That's what we are looking at. And for this whole month, we've been talking about agriculture on these tech tips are. And the reason is today, Ghana here, one of the basic things that we got is agriculture. So how can we really make green farming kind of lucrative for you and I to join? Because we find more on the internet than ever. I don't have time to go on the field to go and learn how to read. I don't have time to go on the field to learn how to grow maize and all those things. But online, I can do that with a simple platform called Tech Shelter. Now, so Tech Shelter, Tech Shelter, TECH, then Shelter SHELTA, Tech Shelter. You can go there to check the platform. It's only a great platform to me, because see, when you get there, they have advisory side. They can advise you on what to do, the time to plant, where to even plant it, and even if you have cultivated your crops, what you can also do is you can even sell it on the platform or look for the market prices. That's one of the challenges these farmers they have. They produce good stuffs, But because they don't have much knowledge about the pricing, they will just go and say whole bunch for 5 cedis, a whole basket of bunch or cassava for 5 cedis. When you go on the platform, yes, you can really check it out carefully. So even right now, you are here, maybe you have a farm, or Bradford coffee, you have a farm, right? Or you don't have a farm, but maybe you produce something, right? Yes, so you can really also go to the platform to see up on Tech Shelter. So that is it. And the next one I'm going to talk about is still under farming, because today, as I said, we've got a lot to do. The youth, we have to also look into farming. So the next tip that I'm going to share with you, or the next one I'm going to share with you, is called Farmerline, farmerline.co. Now, this platform is also a great platform. It works like the one that we shared, the Tech Shelter. We've talked about previous versions. We talk about Complete Farmer. And this one, Farmerline, also does the same thing. They also have a management system whereby you can go there to learn how to even farm, the time to farm, and all those stuff. So I really appreciate what the tech industry is doing as to how we can also come into the agriculture. So today, you are thinking of you want to do farming. There's a lot in farming. There's a lot of money you can make in farming, and not necessary that you going to the field, you going all the way to northern region, to the Volta region, to the western central to go and start farming, but you can do it online through green farming technology. So take advantage of these, then you can check up on that. So then the next one I'm going to talk about is what we call Travel to Ghana. Travel to Ghana, Calvin. This morning, someone is watching out from the United States and want to come and see our good culture, our things that we've got here. So maybe to come to Calvin's World, you have to travel. And there's a platform that you can use it. That is traveltoghana.com. And that platform is for tourism. So you've heard about some place that you wish that you could go and visit. It's just one platform. You can get there, check about what is said to do, what they do, and all those things, even the distance from your wherever you are to the place, what are some of the benefits for you going there you will get, and a lot of stuff. So that is for tourism, and I think that's a good initiative for the tech industry to also coming into this field, the tourism field, to also enhance it in our world. Because today, everything is tech. This morning, before you wake up, you just pick your phone, even before maybe you started praying or reading your Bible, you see. Because why? Because even the Bible is here on our phone, so it's all about tech. And we have all these great stuffs developed by our own people. This time around, when you need the support, to me, the challenge I always have is when I'm using these foreign platforms, sometimes support, looking at time difference and also calling them, it's a lot of money. But if you have a solution in Ghana here, it's worth it than you having a solution outside, because you can call them. This is not plus 1357 number. It's just your normal number you call, MTN, Vodafone number, and all those platforms, you get their numbers on the platform to call. So just do it. Yeah. And the next one, Calf, I also talk about is today we all go to church. So Friday, Saturday. I think the only issue here is I won't talk about that might be Calf. He might not be going to church, but there's still a platform for Calf to also go on. So we are going to talk about a platform called Asoriba. Asoriba. It's a management platform for churches. So how this time around we do a lot of Zoom meetings, we have churches online. How can we integrate that? How can we manage that? When it comes to church, it's a business and it needs management. If you don't manage your church well, it might collapse, right? Though you have the spirit, but you need to manage it. And to manage it, think of Asoriba platform, right? So this platform you can get there to manage your church over there, to have a way to integrate, to talk to your church members on the platform, even donations, taking tithe. Today maybe my church might be at Police Depot, I might not maybe go to church maybe Sunday or Saturday, but I can just send my donation through the platform. So it's being developed here in Ghana and by our own people, so we can take advantage of that to really go to it. So the very next one I'm going to talk about is going to be a management software. And today we all do business. And normally we have challenges with invoicing and all those things. So we have a platform called Tuyameka. Tuyameka, pay me Tuyameka. That's what it does. Tuyameka takes responsibility of your invoicing, and also everything that you do with costing, how to track your sales and all those things. It's a good management platform to really check up. So if you have a business, a small business in Makola, and enterprise, a company, you can just sign up to it. No matter how small your business is, just sign up on the platform. When you sign up on the platform, then you can really use it, and that would help you this morning. So, Kaf. So that is it. So that is a lot of platform that you can do. Today it's all about sign. You know, they don't really speak, so that's why I'm how do you talk? All right, so that is it. So we've talked about a lot of sites that you can really check out for. So Kav, let me take this opportunity. This whole week I'm in celebration mood. Why? Because two of my young brothers are celebrating their birthday. Yes, so let me take this great opportunity to wish them. The first is Owen. Owen celebrated his birthday. Happy birthday. And also Gilbert T. Today the lockdown is in Osu. Everywhere in Osu, we are going there to celebrate his birthday. So see you. And
GTV breakfast. We're linking up with our friends at Unique Breakfast Show. George, come in. Now. George, good morning.
Concerning this morning's OBs will be doing from Kanishi. So let me just join Kafe. Kafe, good morning.
Good morning, George. What's up?
Good morning. Good morning, George. What's up? Ade. Hey, Kafe, you look something else this morning on TV.
Respect the Kung Fu. Tell us, good to have you here, George. Tell us what's happening on Unique Breakfast Drive today.
I mentioned earlier when we started the show on radio, that's Unique 95.7 megahertz. This morning we're coming your way live from Kanishi Market, where we're going to have an outside broadcast for our listeners and viewers to know exactly the intricacies within the market itself. That's Kanishi Market. We also have a lorry station in there, and the whole concept of Kanishi in Ghana means under the lamp. So we'll let our viewers and our listeners know exactly the things really happening under that particular lamp in terms of sanitation, in terms of security, even in terms of infrastructure. And one key conversation that will go on within this whole outside broadcast has got to do with the fuel prices and what the drivers have to say. Well, during our recce and all that, they had interesting views concerning what's happening within the energy sector and the various increase that's going on in terms of fuel prices. So that's the package we have for you this morning. It's going to start from 7:15, where we pick one or two market women and of course the drivers within that particular area. That's the lorry station. At 8 o'clock, we'll move straight into action to take various perspectives of issues affecting the markets and its development, and how best these issues can be resolved. We're moving straight to the people and down to the people there to know their concerns and know their issues, to bring it to the attention of authorities and address these issues once and for all. So that's the package we have, Kafui. So that's going to stretch all the way from 7:15 into 9. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll just get back to the studio here and continue our program till 10, where the UBD will wrap up. Between 9 and 10, we'll have our Ghana Moment and Ghana Heritage Month conversation, where we'll talk about the articraft industry here in Ghana. Ebri happens to be another hub, although we have one hub here in Accra, but we'll have a focus at the Ebri articraft market. So, Kafui.
Yes.
That's what we have this morning on the UBD.
Nice one, George. UBD on Unique 95. Since you've told us what is happening on Unique Breakfast Drive 95.7 Unique, we'll also tell you what's happening on GTV Breakfast. So in about 3 minutes, Maltiti will be here with the sports news that takes us to takes us to about 7:15, where we'll keep an eye. We'll be with you guys, God willing, at Kanishi to check out exactly what's happening over there. And then we have our breakfast conversation with our female panel. Every Friday on GTV Breakfast, we have the ladies who are moderated by Thelma, to look at the issues of the day. Today, the big issues will definitely be around the final journey of the La Manche. We'll be looking at Free at Last, Oliver Barker, Voma War. So that's something that we'll be looking at, of course. And at the end of the show, we shall have Rocky Dawuni join us, Ghana's twice nominated Grammy artist. And we'll be looking at his chances of winning the Grammy for the first time for Ghana come April. So that's our show. 055-556-1034. Some of your listeners, if they stop listening to you, they can come to us and then also check us out. And same with us as well. Those of us who are here, who have to listen to the radio, listen to 95.7, Unique Breakfast Drive with George and the team. So good to see you. And all the best with your outside broadcast.
All right, good to see you, Kafi. But Kafi, before you go.
I'm here.
All right. Tell us what's the whole significance about your outfit this morning? Well, you look quite interesting, though.
When was the last time you asked an Okonfo how he was dressed? You're what? We don't take such questions.
Okay,
like
all right, accepted. Accepted, Kafi. So you heard from Kafi Day all the way from Studio 1, from the GTV studios. If you want to really know exactly how he's looking this morning, just tune into GTV and you get to know exactly how Kafi is looking this morning. We're having that kind of collaboration with them this morning on the Unique Breakfast Drive together with the GTV Breakfast Show. We're coming your way live from Kanishi. So we're going to have a studio discussion, GTV studios, Unique studios. That will also take you to location Kanishi market for you to know exactly what's happening there and how best we can bring you everything you need to know on the show, both on the Unique Breakfast Drive and also the Breakfast Show on Ghana television. Let me just continue with Juliet with the newspaper headlines, and then shortly we'll go for the news at 7 from our national studio in the next 5 minutes. Juliet.
Yes. So, George, I was
Thelma! Read.
Nana bread.
Read.
Nana yon pamala kakray. Ya ko wala ye na akoma na ye hu me ye be ye ma te da me. Me to me nzama me zefi cape ma bankran. As Nana said from Ashanti, we are going for a funeral in La. Let me just read my messages while he gets into his spirits. Calf. That one said, as for a calf. And here's a message for DK, who has had to take leave of us. Smart App. He said, I'm aware of Smart App, but my kids' school is yet to introduce it. So until they do, I can't benefit, right? Thank you, GTV Breakfast, for the enlightenment of these innovative and problem-solving apps. I bet Friday Spirit is full in session. You know, CAF is a Friday born, so it's very much in session today. A teacher from Asin Manso Senior used a stick to hit a female student's head. Since then, the girl has been facing mental challenges. Part of her body has gone weak. Please, I want to inform the Ministry of Education to take note of the issues going on at Asin Manso Senior High School. We know that corporal punishment in school has been banned, so we do not want to believe that this is still continuing. We will send this message across to the appropriate quarters. If indeed it is found to be true, then it must be very much inappropriate. Let me pick a few more messages. Good morning, GTV Breakfast Show. Good morning to you as well. Hey guys, hold Kafuyo. We have to hold him. This Nana dear. We don't know. Nana 1, Nana. Calf, that's your new name. Your new name is Inana. Calf and his borrowed apparel from General Mosquito. Good morning. Osei Kwabna, if you Asante. Thank you for sending that. Let me just say that comments made by persons on our platforms are their views and not the views of GBC or any of its presenters. What did Calf drink this morning? The same Milo that we are all drinking. So, I don't know. Let's keep the messages coming in. Someone says, nice. Rich King says, nice. Rhoda just laughing. She said, Thelma, you look frightened from Rhoda Kennedy. I should be frightened. The man is wielding a knife and everything. Hey, Cap, calm down. Thelma, please take him off camera with a laughing emoji. This is really funny. And so more messages are coming in, and we want to know what you think. Our WhatsApp number 05555-61034. Hey, Cap, haha. Why you be executioner? Hello to you guys. Doing great. You have changed the face of the breakfast shows. Keep it up. Calf, Thelma, Val, and Mo TT. Thank you so much. Also, our guys on the ground, Alan and Jay, are part of the team. So add all of us when you are naming so that we'll be proud. Good morning, Kafi. Kindly confirm whether you are an executioner or a warrior. So we are confused. Nana? So Nana is not going to speak right now. When the spirit goes, he will be back to speak. For now, we'll join Multiti, who brings us sports news at 7. So let's go over for sports. Thank you for joining us on GTV Breakfast Sports. Thank God it's Friday. I can't say anything about Man U today. I dare not, because with the way CAF is looking today, we are mourning with the La people today, and that's why we're costumed like this by Ritz Cultural. You can find them on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. We're also streaming on Facebook at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We'll be looking at the World Cup qualifiers today. We'll also be looking at the GPL and the EPL. Ghana, shall we? Ghana's head coach Otto Addo and his technical team are set to arrive in Ghana on Sunday to begin preparations ahead of the 2022 World Cup playoff against Nigeria. The Ghana FA appointed the 4-member interim team to lead the Black Stars in this month's World Cup playoffs following the dismissal of Serbian tactician Milovan Rajvac. 3 of the technical team members, Coach Otto Addo, George Boateng, and technical advisor Chris Hilton, are foreign-based and are expected to join Masoud Didi Dramani in Ghana at the weekend or on the weekend to begin work. Despite the Ghana FA's strategy not to announce the Ghana squad in time for the game, it is expected that the Black Stars camp will hit a full house by Monday night. Reports say 27 players have been called up by head coach Otto Addo as Ghana faces Nigeria in a 2-legged encounter for a place among the 5 teams to represent Africa
at the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Players invited for the clash have reportedly received their air tickets and will start arriving in the country from Saturday night.
Player goes down, it's a penalty.
League Match Day 29 to be honored across all league centers. Now the Ghana Premier League Match Day 21 is on, and Kerala will take on Mediama at 3 p.m. this afternoon. As you can see on the table, the fixtures on your screen. Kerala United will take on Mediama SC on Friday, the 18th of March, that's today. On Sunday, 20th March 2022, Bechem United will take on Accra Lions. Bibiani Gold Stars will lock horns with Elmina Sharks. Dreams FC will take on Great Olympics Oledade. Hearts of Oak, the Phobians, will play against Ashanti Gold. King Faisal will play against Brekum Chelsea. Wafa will take on Legon Cities on the same Sunday, the 20th of March. The Lions of the North, Real Tamale United, will take on Adriana Stars. 11 Wonders will take on Asante Kotoko on Monday, the 21st of March, 2022. Also, the game between King Faisal and Brekum Chelsea has been postponed to 6th April to give way for the Ghana-Nigeria game at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Now, in the Europa League last 8 teams qualifications, West Ham United secured their first quarter-final appearance in Europe since 1981 by upsetting the UEFA Europa League record.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling healthy.
A la carte. Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars being an African country.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure? Dan Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
On-site restaurant,
or room service?
we've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek.
I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style,
On-site restaurant,
complimentary breakfast,
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the bag?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the
Just
camera?
stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
on GTV breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
On-site restaurant,
or room service?
we've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, let's take a peek.
I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style,
On-site restaurant,
complimentary breakfast,
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the bag?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the
Just
camera?
stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
on GTV breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
So we try was suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do. We dey go straight to stardom. And I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go next level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
In Jija, woman malaria and kawan to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat.
Welcome to the site. So for Keep an Eye, we are jazzing it up with our colleagues from Unique FM, and so we are doing this from the Kaneshi Market, where our guy Alan and Unique on standby. We are invading the Kaneshi Market, so I'm handing over to them pretty shortly. Hello, good morning, Good morning, Alan. Handing over to you guys. What's happening?
Valerie, welcome to the special outside broadcast from Kaneshi. Well, on my side is now our radio partner, who's also with us at this location at Kaneshi. We'll be looking generally at the situation out here at Kaneshi. Amongst the things we'll be considering are sanitation, people who work here, life out here, what they think can be improved or must be improved. But before we go into that, let me bring on now welcome to GTV Breakfast. Thank you, Darryl. Thank you. Now, it's a special one for all of us. So what are you looking forward to? Right, so I'm looking forward
and so when
okay.
When I sign off, I'll take it on.
I have Kaneshi Market Complex well. No, I tried to do a little inquiry about the Kaneshi complex, and I understand this idea of building a market complex was conceived in 1969 by the Buzia regime. Yep. I also understand although it was conceived by the Buzia regime, it was actualized by the General Kutu Achampo in 1970. And it's looking at the market space, we will be looking at what the drivers are, what the problems are, what they are doing here at the moment in terms of their operations. We will be looking at sanitation, security. We would be looking at how their relation with passengers, and we have a whole lot of markets springing around the market complex and all that. Sure, we're surrounded, quite obvious, by so many trotros and trotro drivers. I'm sure we would engage a few of them. But before your
granted the Kaneshie market. Do you know that as part of the market, in order to help the market women, they have a nursery up in the market?
That's an interesting one to know. That's very good because, you know, with mothers, being a mother is not an easy task. So if they have a market and a nursery up the market, then they really mean business.
Yes, my visit not too long ago was when I visited the school and also realized there is a clinic also up there in the market. And so if they have an emergency, they won't have to rush out from the market, but everything can be dealt with up in the building.
With the traffic situation around the Kaneshie market and all that. So I think it's a very good initiative.
Sure. And so we're going to go around and get our guys to bring us the market personnel who we're going to be engaging with to find out what the situation is. Obviously, I've seen a massive improvement relative to sanitation. I think somebody's doing something right.
I'm sure. I also believe same. Though you won't really readily see that places like it has been swept and all that, you wouldn't easily see rubbish gathered all around and all that. So I think it is an improvement, as you did indicate, and it's something. I'm sure they are doing something right, something they were not doing before. Because initially, I understand sanitation has been a major problem of this particular market.
Now you know I have this very unusual habit of just bumping into people and say, "Talk to me."
I know, right?
Can we do it? Can we do it? Okay. Let's say. You see, this man has been looking at us all this while.
I can see that.
Yes.
I'm sure he will be ready.
Yes, sure. Bama to say. Anya don't be able to there. Why you do my Kaneshie hand here say? Ulo do ka na ko he.
Me kwa atiko.
Na no nanka ha to me eye enwura kakra na ugina ha ye tewo san no pay.
Oh, na de eye aka, na de
eye pa wo hu. Eye kakra. Me fo ne ade eye adwuma ha ya na mo ne o ma sitra mo te san.
Oh, me ba de me sheda hu bibi asa de.
Wa mo udi ankyere mi o.
Ah, you me kwaku akwa.
Kwaku mami nya na ko so aye adwuma ye be san ne wadi nkomo da foforo. Right, okay.
I'm taking you over now to Kaneshie.
Okay. So
we are still trying.
Sure. The next thing I'm going to have us do is try and speak to this trotro driver.
Sure.
This trotro driver is going to be one of the guys we're going to be engaging very shortly. I'm not sure if he's even in his cab, but anyway, I've seen someone in the front. Let's get that person. It feels really very cool walking around Kaneshie because years ago, you're walking out here, you're really going to be walking in a mess. But yeah, Bema, morning, Ampomwe. Hey, you know, I'm going to say, you be able to call here. I don't pay you. Kaneshie to say. Ugum. Ugum. We are just Wonderful. And so if you're joining us, viewers, we're doing a special program between Radio Unique FM and GTV Breakfast. And this special one is coming to you from the Kaneshie Market Complex. Na is with me. I'll pass you over to Na once again for Na's impression so far. Na, what do you think?
Yeah, so far so good, and I believe by the time we leave here, listeners and viewers will show and those on the GBC's Unique Breakfast Drive will have a fair idea of what goes on here at the Kaneshie Market. We are trying to establish contact. We have already established some contacts, but we would be talking to some of the drivers, some of the passengers. You know, it's a busy morning. The sun is not too out yet, but we realize others are busy loading their vehicles. Others are busy trying to lay their wares and sell them. We have school children. We have persons, workers, public workers, and civil servants, all trying to get into vehicles to get to their various workplaces.
Now I see two of the lorry station guys join us by the van. Let's go to them and find out what they are up to. I'm penny for my watching.
Yeah.
Very good. Ah, Nyamia do me fiaboko.
Yeah, ye nim ha emre bi atwamu no ne ka se ka ha bedu ha na ka ye fin pa e wa ha. Na no e ba ne se na matumi aba adwuma saa.
Oh, sesi ano won se efin no e ma yale ne niama. Nti ye mpanifo ne da ye nim no eyi nkrofo a esese de bia omokre ne ha na ahaye kama e ma yen. Se na be ya se obi eto aduane kura once na ko si bola no so no be si aduane no so a de yale na e ba. Nti ese ye di hani se na be ya yen nya yare bia e wa ha.
Na mu ye adwuma wa ha no aha adwuma no eni so te sen.
Pacho adwuma ne die sese adwuma no enkoso te se first no. Esan se fuwe na omutu mu no afeti bibia afeti lorry fare no ana salary no yentu mu nti nipa ne be fro ka akra na osu esan se ebia ba bi na wo kokra lorry fare ni nti no no atwe asan enu so ekue ana sese adwuma ye no scanning na ye di to fuel sese a no pese akwakoto fuel yakoto fuel 5 Ghana cedis. Oh, nti ye bre pa nti sametuma boa yen a muntushe na momwa yen.
Na matutu mu de matutu mu.
Ya too fair na mo ma 15% say ya phantom. Na ya 3 cedi. Say ya 3 cedi 50%. And so still ya ho chire say ya too mu no. Ya too fair mu no. O ma to fu en mbed 4 times ni. And then no pay gra no mo ka so ma san to fu emu.
Na ya tse mo wo unions awuro ha nti den na mo ya fa ho.
Union dey one penny for I die no. Enso bibia no just a fisro eba. GPIT for any TUC for and ebe ken bibi. Ansa na yetumi ehu ne ekoso.
Na mate se mo san be tutu first.
Fair ni dey say to me say madam ejuma na ye no sky ye nya nyina no ye dey to fuel.
And they say be wo.
Ani dey ye be wu na say oban amampani so hwa no ntu salary ni mu mamo. Esa say nipa ni salary ni wo soro na so kofru ka o tuafo ne kura enye ne ya. No eni soro nti say ofru ka odi ya o say fair no akosoro baby me pay no baby agina no ha na agina wo nti no ya dwim ho se ase ya dwim passengers no ane ye boa ya dwim ho pa nso se na fair na eko no fu na eko no sa na ese yenso ya tumu sa anya sa yenso adwuma ye nyina na wo be adwuma the whole day no nya hwe
yo ye da say na ye one bo din o
pa to from James Mfum alias Aboje se
ya ye hu Aboje se no na da pa che fra say
me hanya me de Samuel Pencil
na da bibia boko de
nyame adom boko
no pa we mi hu mi hwe we nim a we nim nheda nya me fe ade na ekoso
adwuma no nkoso efse fuwe ne boye de wo be adwuma na wo de ni na akoto fuwe amama ye school fees ntua na ye ye ne mo hwe no nheda nya papa na sa wo ye adwuma na sa wo ba kofie na sa wan fe sika bia nkwahwa we ye na wo mba oba ne baka sa bia wo de sika na aye dan akwa bia bia nhwe nti sa no aye no mpawchewa yentumi ama me yentumi nko ba bia fo ne ba ye den obi kura ho na obefo ka ne kura na wo price ne kire ne kura mpo na no ono ekun wo ka ne mo nti ama ye ho akire yan pa
nti ya mu hia instances bia e bia nkofo obefo ka na omo se ye ndi omo mu nsie
ne de obi ho na sa wo price ne kire ne kura na we se yes san say ye passengers akwa ne nti bo so omo ne akoya ka na won mu ne akwa wo ka ne mu kura na no wo se den ye to meje price na opesa or the man because so see na yes you lose into I say ye price ne sa amane no
yo yeah that say so we have been speaking with one of the drivers at the Carnation Market complex and he has been telling us about the challenges especially with a continuous increase in the prices of fuel and all that. It is a situation which is a difficult one at that and something we are all hoping that something would be done about it because it appears all the drivers have the same worry. I have been joined by one of the drivers at the Carnation Market, and if you just joined us on radio on the Unique Breakfast Drive or on the GTV Breakfast Show, this is a special edition of the Breakfast Show and the Unique Breakfast Drive coming to you live from the Carnation Market complex. I have been joined by one gentleman who is here at the Carnation Market complex. Good morning.
Good morning.
Bibi abakhodie.
Nadom.
Na anofo we adwuma ne tsai.
Adwuma ne de normal ne yaba adwuma anopay. But problem e wo mu say increment na ba no. Ama passengers ne emma because say tum no pay no mo gina no mo je na lot of friends ya tum nti obi ho baby ko a onma ntama ye djuma no I stand still enko bebe pack card the bet 4 hours no nya load no gina fa ko nti problem aye nya pa wo ha na nya easy
Mr. Thompson, I understand Mr. Thompson is the union secretary at the Carnation Market, and he has been telling us about what is happening with the current happenings at the market. It appears the salary that hasn't been increased of workers is bringing about a lot of problems, but we are trying to engage him to find out that aside from that, what else can be done about it and all that. Mr. Thompson, what do you think is the solution? And then I wish I say,
I say about no subsidized petrol my or subsidized na say petrol no bad down na lot of friends so a bad normal I'm say obia be okay because this year I say system no more tight also bisa obia the system link koye and then na agina petrol no say reduce petrol na say bibia normal I'm say obia ho be ha no obia oba market obeto ade no obey okay obi a okọ ejuma obey okay obi okọ school obey okay driver ni be okay and you know system na say petrol na say ehwe na eden yeto sumai
and for me who say petrol assembly there ahamu yie pa now aside from petrol assembly there any there na ekoso wo Carnation Market complex Osha e was say yenye bibi enfa ho ana mo boaboa mo ho e ba mu sanitation initially e ba ha na ehun say enhya da anye ye hu sese mu kakra dia ni dia nhihye na mo de atoto akwan mu ama na ba ne sei
the only problem is say market no wom na management of the park into wom na mo hwe say at the end of the day no ye pon a wom be clean the park no so amaye into I'm saying the point no wom clean into no buy na a high need no because no say ni pe adwuma na ye ne bia ni pa so obepra no ebia sada no ebia no ho fa no ana bibi ntumi am ejuma enti ade chi a baba na ha na efi ba eba na se ha no efi a ya tu organize yan kwala no mo apra nyam de kogu ball enim no normal ade wo ha no
na mo security at saying say mo buying ball e wo Carnation complex ha at saying
bambo no de am say security wa market wo security a omobo obia ho ban wa ha Bobby and Bantin say BB Cosbona report to now your police station Swaha. BB Cosbona report to a police station, police for also take action. And security had the MC and the problem be anyhow. The problem be anyhow.
Now Matisa more driver unions best 28 complex how na eba the way I hear to fuel mo na de ade no mo ye de na mo tena se na mo hye the way am be prices na esi afa
and say you were welfare ye na you were under one welfare they control the whole unions no and to be ba welfare they take a decision no abre the whole unions letters no train what to do and internet is obi ai bibia na se bia uniform it is obi ntumi nya ne ope because welfare take control our park so and that's the what we have here
da no pay ye better say only abedi nkitia ho ne ade so we have been speaking with the union executive of the Carnation Market, and he has been telling us about a number of issues they have been encountering for some time now at the Carnation Market, especially with the continuous increase in the prices of fuel. And their prayer is that governments would intervene and maybe a subsidy to assist the whole situation as the prices or as the salaries of workers have not been increased. Man, good morning.
Morning.
And if I also when you saw a shepa, na market
market is your farmer. Market since 13 December na me kofa aniama. What the many mutan tell kwa camera so.
Oh man, worry. Adeɛ no asɛm no wɔsɛ yɛn kana yɛn nyinaa yɛn te aseɛ.
Since 13 December na me kɔ fa nneɛma. Ɛna sisi adaso sisi wɔ no. Wobɛ
ma den ni den na wotɔn ɛna wodin de sɛn.
Me de nana. Me tɔn kwala nneɛma.
What's it 13 December? When you man go soon,
man, sisi one sister. Ebi si dem. Me de ba ha be ye kuntan. Enti me mfamba. Since 13 December, receipt wo ho. Ah, me kire say 13 December no market. Ubi say obi a o mbeka kire wo. Waba waton ade, untumi ton ade more than 20 Ghana.
So we are the coffee, we are the ndidi.
Enti se nyame ye wadom na uton 20 Ghana na. Obeyi bia ma friend is the ordinary man ba na career na ordinary man ba ye no obetua ne ka ebia 6 cedis and 5 cedis the beka 15 oba who did it once a day who to did it twice. Meanwhile no nim say Ghana for the your family no your extended family me mama wo me sister wo ja me akwala me hwa lu school omo nyina na se o man it is say no anwo kire no de nyankopon ni na asem nie.
BBR fine. So we have been speaking with one of the traders here at the Kaneshi Market Complex, and she says she imported or she brought some items. She is a dealer in children's wares, and since 13 December last year, her wares are still with her. It's very difficult to get people to patronage their items. Ima. Oje ko. Ima lebine ina ko mi fun wa
dente ima lebu.
Nika kwa na afa futu ya bi
yo ya tui.
Mini ya no.
Na ko ya no sister. Ka je judu ade ni yawo komo. Mo ka nya sika be mami fe basa. First amadan ne. Enye wo he ole. First ye 5 cedi. Bi ana na 25. Bi ana no ni ya he. E ko mi na 25 cedi. Ahe ni kaje Monday do ade ni yawo mo ni aka e na esumo hyenwe shika e wa akwani government ha ni shika ba ma mi koni wa fe free pe wa yen hyawo wa de nche wa yen hyawo wa yen bi wa yen gbeka bi ba ko wa yen gbeka bi ni won ko ani wa sale mo ni na hu e baba ye president e wa won government fine na ekwa wo fi o yo
nyawo ogbe
o fine acho mi Grace.
Yo, Grace ni work and she's been telling us about how her wares have been. She's a dealer in cassava and plantain, and her worry is people are not buying, and so government should do something about it as early as practicable. I will be handing you over to my colleague Daryl to continue with the rest of the program.
Thank you very much. Now it's been a pleasure watching you in the market. You did very well with that. You did great with that. Right. Okay. So don't stay with me. Stay with me. Before we go to join the team on the other side, we're having breakfast. But this breakfast is rather a massive, huge jollof breakfast. Manya money. Over na Toyota.
Fine yo jogba.
Na kale bi no yin do mama na atwela wa de nche mini ya.
Mo yemi.
Na mo ya na mo yemi.
Na ya no mo yemi.
O fine wo ba kwa jame. She lebi na tejira no tamote.
Ah yo wa dro mo yo wa ni je chele wole wala. Wono fia no ye fine. She no come ngba wona. Bi ana ka petrol. Ni petrol na fio e wo. Bi ana mo adeka. Ka mo bua hu. Wono adeka 1 million. One are 800. Then one more 10 million, 12 million, one 22. 20 more in my life, mommy for me, mommy. I work more 22. 10 million. I call Jamia, I won't echo on the boba, no echo. My phone, no, but I feel 11 million. Boy at home, on a few. Or one more 22, one more 25 million. Biane and Gaia Waga. I waga, I'm more lolly fair. I'm a pure one thing. 800, 900. Then I 200 million. Lolly fair. I make a fish, you know. Na me home, how? Yeah, na any. Go ahead, walk out now, 2 cedi. What's a quarter 3 cedi? You put your image make go here be no for here nye ba nye port of a year. O nye for na ke nyo nye fe. She nye 1,000.
Over now what I say. She's just dropped a punchline there. She's accusing men for not being very generous. All we know is to dress out good, but we're not generous. We're not generous. Let me go quickly and speak to this young lady who's joined us. Good morning, sweetheart. How are you? Please tell me your name.
Bevelyn.
What do you do in this market?
I'm coming to buy things.
You're here to shop. How is it going?
Very difficult.
What makes it so difficult?
All the things, like, I can't tell. The things are very expensive. Things we used to buy it like 5 cedis. Right now you buy it 12 cedis, 15 cedis. Things are now expensive in the market. We can't afford to buy everything we want. You just need to buy little of them, then you use it like that.
Bev, so what was your budget, your plan for this morning, and how has that been taken off guard, and so you're a bit worried? What was your budget?
Yeah, I brought 50 cedis to shop, but the way the thing is going, unless I go home and add some before I'll get everything I want.
Wow, I hope you get home safe and find whatever you want to add to it and come back. Our market women need us all in the market. But do you often shop from Kanishi?
Yeah, normally from Agbogbonshi, but due to the transportation too, so I've decided to come here to shop.
Comparing the two markets, especially in the area of sanitation, what do you think? And do you think Kanishi is relatively clean these days?
Not really. Both Kanishi and Agbogbonshi, they are becoming the same.
You're not impressed with the sanitation? You're not impressed with the market sanitation? What do you think can be done to improve it?
I think we need our Zoom lions to come around every blessed day to help us, because when you check there is a lot of bola there they need to clean up, but they will come and sweep it, then they will put it there again. And more of the time they are doing it, and it's affecting us, because I want to buy fish. See how the house fly are on it. It's unfair.
Oh, I see. My camera is getting close to the fish. Obviously, exactly what you have just said, and no doubt what you have said is actually the case. Bev, in such situations, who do you think is failing the market women in terms of improving sanitation in the market?
The assemblyman is there. The MP is there. Before the government to come. We need to, like, the market women too need to gather themselves, because they are those here to clean up before the assembly will come and stuff, but they are also doing nothing. They need someone to come and do it for them whilst they are in and suffering.
It's been great speaking to you, Beverly. Thank you very much. I was almost going to call you Valerie. Valerie in the studio may be mentioning my name. We're joining now, and then we'll be heading back towards the crew, and then obviously I'm sure by the time we leave here, we'll be able to speak to the market managers as well. Now, so what has been your impression?
Initially, I had a different impression of the Kanishi Market Complex. I thought it was a very congested area without space for you to even move your car. But coming here today, I'm seeing cars coming into the park. I didn't know there was a park like this. I didn't know it was a well-organized area like this, because I usually pass by the roadside, and even behind there are usually no spaces for vehicles to move easily. But my impression indeed has been changed, and it's a different ball game altogether than I used to know.
Now we're going to have to hand over back to the studio. But before we go, let me ask Kaf. Kafui this morning came in the regalia of an executioner, but then he was wielding a certain small dagger. Such executioners don't necessarily get the job done, and so I want to remind him that in Akan, statement, there's this saying that said the sick sa ena bohaso etie. So Mr. Executioner, get yourself a better one for the job. Anyway, so if you're watching us, we've come to you live from the Kanishi Market. This is where we hand over back to the studio, and so Valerie, take it over now. Last words.
Yeah, so it is an interesting time here. We have in your short some meat being cut to where it will be sold to bias and all that, and some people have raised a little reservations about the mode in which the meat is being transported. Indeed, our safety should be our concern as individuals. So when you buy your meat, you know you would have to do due diligence by making sure you wash it and wash it properly to ensure that it is wholesome for you to take. So we will be handing over back to the studios at GTV Breakfast Show and Unique Breakfast Drive, and we will be continuing on the Unique Breakfast Drive. We will be coming back on GTV Breakfast Show to wrap up, and GTV Breakfast Show, other programs and other interviews. We'll take her from there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan and Na, and those were sounds and sights from the Kaneshie market from our team on the ground. The hashtag to follow is still GTV Breakfast. I'm going to hand over to T, and she's going to handle the headlines. She's having that sit down with Ellen Amadeko. She's a member of the National Communications Team, MPP, and Susan Edu-Amankwa. She's the Executive Director, National Interest Movements. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast everywhere. We'll be right back.
Thanks for staying on. It's still breakfast on GTV. This is the headlines, and the show is made possible by Awake Purified Water and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. Also, Rit Cultural for helping us keep up with the people of La as they bury their paramount chief tomorrow, and we are mourning in solidarity with the people of La. As we mourn, others jubilate, and Mrs. Jennifer Abena Santoe J. Boateng, you are sending congratulations and happy birthday wishes to your husband, who is one of our own, Stephen Ado Boateng. Today is your birthday. We love you despite all your issues. We love you. Happy birthday to you from all of us on the team, from everybody at GBC and your family. Congratulations. On the headlines today, we are starting with the Daily Graphic, and they have the story on the Odo Storm Drain leading Stop Polluting Odo Storm Drain Maintenance Cost Mounting. And that's according to Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asensi-Yeboah. That story featuring prominently with a photo of ongoing dredging works at the lower basin of the Koli Lagoon. Other stories in the Daily Graphics on the late La Manche. Need Dr. Kobi Tetechuru III. And you can find that extract in the Daily Graphic. Finance Minister calls for credit ratings reforms. Page 13. Get details in there. 3 ministers directed to brief Parliament on Boko. Also on page 13. Parliament fails to approve loan agreement for the second time in 2 weeks. That is also on page 22 of the Daily Graphic. The Ghanaian Times also leading with the story on the Odo storm drain and how it relates to the lagoon. It says ahead of rainy season will arrest, prosecute polluters of Koli Lagoon works. Minister warns as he inspects dredging project. Story on page 16. Also carrying the story of Parliament adjourning sitting for lack of a quorum. Baka Vomawa finally bailed is how the Ghanaian Times is carrying the story on the ongoing trial of the hashtag Fix the Country convener. Renewed chieftaincy clashes in Jantong on the heels of what's already happening in Boko. And let's establish regulatory framework for media is the other story on page 15 that the Ghanaian Times is focusing on. The finder goes government to scale up investments to tackle road safety issues. That's according to President Akufo-Addo. Story on page 2. Other stories, ADB resumes Saturday banking in 27 branches. Ghanaian TV channels to go global. Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah pictured with that story, and Nana B deserves a national organizer position. That's according to Deputy Majority Leader, the Honorable Alexander Afenyomark, and that story is also on page 8 of the Finder. Another story on Golden Sawasa donating $200,000 to the Apiate Support Fund. So these are some of the stories that we will be looking at, and of course, as we do every Friday, we've taken the seat with two strong women, member of the National Communications Team for the NPP, and National Women's Organizer Hopeful. Ellen, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
And right next to her, Susan Edua-Mankwa, Executive Director, National Interest Movement. Susan, welcome as well.
Thank you.
So two future presidential candidates and presidents before me today. And very soon we'll join our kitchen side of the set. We are having some apapransa in the studio today, so very, very flavorful smells in the studio. But we'll start off with the pollution of the outdoor drains and the caution from the Works and Housing Minister to stop polluting the drain and the threat to prosecute those who do. So the dredging works of the Odo River and then the Koli Lagoon have been ongoing for a while. It cost the country huge sums of money over a long period of time with successive governments to bring that lagoon to shape. Some envisage that we should have something the likes of the Thames River as it runs through the city centre, but pollution has made that impossible, and it's because of human attitudes. Do you think the call by the Works and Housing Minister will be heeded to this time? Ellen?
Good morning to you. Good morning, Auntie Susan. Good morning to our viewers, and good morning to all MPP members. We are, from today, we had started our electoral area coordinators elections, and I wish everybody going for the election good luck, and I pray that they will do it and they will do it well, and hopefully we will not have the furor we had when we were doing the polling station elections. And of course, my greetings to all NPP women. Now, on this Odo River matter, it gets to a point, it becomes, I don't know, frustrating. And I would not want to be in the shoes of my brother, Honorable Asenso Boache, because I can understand his frustration. You pump so much money, and you've been talking about the past few years. This thing has been going on for over 10 years, more than 10 years of trying to get this place going, of putting in millions of dollars and Ghana cedis to get the Odo River going. And you know, we had donor support to do it. We had government of Ghana money. Your tax and my tax have gone into this thing. Then we go and we all come back to the same issue again year after year. The rains are going to come. And we are spending money on dredging. Look, when you look at the visuals, it's heartbreaking. I mean, the debt is so much that human beings can walk on the debt. Water is practically disappearing. And you blame those who are in the environs. But remember, these are coming from uphill, those upstream. So every single one of us, you go and put this small rubbish in the gutter in front of your house. Oh, the skies have turned dark. It means it's going to rain. Then quickly you bring your things and then you put it in the gutter. Those who sit in the cars and they'll be throwing out polythene. All of that washes and goes into the gutter. Those who wait in the middle of the night and then they'll bring their rubbish out and put in the gutter. There are some who physically go and pour it into the Odo River. We are all at fault. Governments can only do what they are doing. It is their duty to make sure that the place is dredged so that we will not get drowned, water will not sweep us away. But your taxes and my taxes will be used to do that. Why can't we have boats sitting on this and use it as a tourist attraction? Why can't we have children playgrounds around the Odo River? Because it runs right through the middle of Accra. Why can't we do it? Because of our attitude. We just don't understand anything sanitation. And it is our attitude. We can blame whoever we want to blame. If the human beings are not doing what they have to do, this is what will end up. And it's heartbreaking. And you know what? All this also gets into the sea. When it rains. The last time I was passing over that bridge from, is it the Labadi Beach Hotel? The mangrove area. When you're heading towards the Teshi, is it the Kofi Annan, the military range? You know there's a bridge that you pass over.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's the Peshi Lagoon that goes through there.
That whole area, when it rains, it turns into another plastic island. Because the debt we are giving to the sea will bring it back to us. Are we happy with what we are doing to our beaches? What happened to the wildlife in that area? The turtles. I heard those days that there were turtles, there were crocodiles. Where are they? Where are the birds?
I heard stories when I was growing up in Accra of the Korle Lagoon breeding even tilapia. And we were told that the Korle tilapia was the best there was.
Will you eat tilapia from the Korle? It won't even survive. We won't even talk about that.
It's dead.
But then all this we are doing, it eventually gets into the food chain. The fish that are in the sea, they will feed on the plastic that we are putting in and all the dirt we are putting in. And it will be in their skin, it will be in their flesh, then we'll go and catch and we'll fry and we'll chew. We are wondering why we have upsurge of cancers, upsurge of all. It is our fault. We are polluting our water that we are drinking mercury, we are drinking cyanide, we are drinking all manner of things because of galamsey. And then on top of that, we'll add plastics to the sea. The fish will eat it, we'll go and fish it out, fry it, and eat it with agar kingi. And you don't understand why you are getting cancer.
Susan, the minister is saying that when he went on that round yesterday, he said the government has put 450 million Ghana cedis in the last 4 years into the efforts to reduce the effects of flooding. But what we are seeing with the Odo drain does not offer much hope without a change in attitude, does it?
No, it doesn't. Pardon my voice. I woke up this morning and I don't know what's happening. Anyway, but it doesn't. I mean, we have nothing to show for the 450 million cedis, and that really is pathetic. But a lot more. I would hope that, having seen that, you know, whatever we use, the 450 million is not the way to go, then we need to change direction and do something different and radical, because it really is a pathetic situation. When Ellen was talking, she talked about having boats on it, and that was Nkrumah's dream. I mean, if you go and you look in his development plan, the Accra Plains were supposed to, you know, you were supposed to have a whole tourist attraction there with the parks, with boats on it. You know, that was the dream, and this is where we've ended up. We've killed many of our dreams that would have made us a much more developed country, made us better off for it. But coming back to education, the education must start from the primary school. Why it is wrong to throw things about why we should keep our environment clean, and then why we should recycle. These days, everything is plastic. You know, you go and buy, you know, food, they put it in a plastic bag. Everything. I mean, we didn't used to have bottled water that was plastic. We drank from the taps straight away. We fetch water in a glass bottle, put it, you know. Now, of course, now because of, I mean, all these things, you can't drink the tap water. And you wonder whether we have gone for it or we have taken 10 steps back. So, you know, recycling. That should be the mantra from that we should be able to reuse things. You know, in certain countries, if you want the plastic bag, you must pay for it. It is not free anymore.
I was in the UK when they introduced the 5p per single-use plastic bag, and despite the agitations and those who disagreed and said they shouldn't have to pay, it still went ahead. And now the price has even gone up. So you pay more to use a plastic, and it will just be easier to bring another kind of shopping bag with you to go shopping.
Yeah, so people bring,
those who don't want to pay, bring bags.
And people bring their bags, and the bags that they can reuse over and over and over again. So that must be, you must tackle it, with multiple, strategies. And then, of course, you must have the polluter pay principle, especially with the producers of the plastics. Either we are banning the plastics completely, or the plastics must be biodegradable. If not, you shouldn't produce. We have not had the political will, because I remember, I think it was Mahama Ayariga or so. At the time that he was environmental minister, that they were going to ban plastics, and then they kept shifting the date when it will happen, and then of course it died off altogether. And we still have these plastics in our environment, and they are killing the environment. I mean, these days, even if you go to villages that you would have thought that the villages would not have the plastic, and you find heaps of plastic there, and they don't know how to dispose of these things. Even if you bury it in the ground, it's not biodegradable. So you'd have that problem. But you have to realize that we don't have this environment for ourselves. We are keeping it for posterity, and we are destroying it for posterity. Then, of course, the education. Like, it's the carrot, but we must have the stick, where people are actually really punished. But first we must get rid of the squatters, the scrap dealers, all those people by the banks of the river who, for one reason or that, are not showing.
There have been attempts in the past to move, for example, the residents of what we now call Sodom and Gomorrah, and that has not.
Yes, because
well.
We have not had the political will to do it. We look at it and then they start screaming, oh, there are 80,000 of us. And then the political parties, because they are so close and at par in terms of their electoral capacities or victories or whatever, then they back off, because they look at it, hey, 80,000, that's a lot of people. But they are not looking at the greater good to for us. They're not good. They're just looking to win elections. And so when the people start screaming that, oh, there are 80,000 of us, and so you can't move us, then they back off. Because those squatters ought to be moved. That is one step. It's not the whole step, but it is one step that will show that we mean to make this Accra the cleanest city in West Africa.
Sanitation issues will.
Otherwise, we're just saying things, And it goes to enforce the fact that politicians just say things that sound nice and don't do it. But if we say it, we must back the action. We must move those people. Of course, we must find where to place them, where to put them. Well, they did come from somewhere. Is it possible that they can go back there to meaningful jobs, to a meaningful life, than stay and causing problems for all of us?
Those are questions I doubt we can get finality to in this one sitting of a program, but the Graphic and Times both dedicate time to it, because we need to move on to other topics.
No, I just wanted to put in something. So you know what happened when the regional minister, Greater Accra regional minister, tried moving the onion sellers and all the brouhaha that went on it. But I think he's a typical example of staying true to your cause and negotiating, talking to people and moving them. Eventually he got them moved. So some of these things, like Auntie Susan is saying, we need to get them off. And we need to start the process and continue the process and finish the process. Because we cannot continue like this. These people have been living on these banks for years. Some have been there for 30, 40 years.
Some were born there.
Some were born there. So it's not going to be that easy. But that doesn't mean that we should also think that we're going to leave them there for the next 100 years. Then we might practically give up on what we are doing. So I do agree that we need to take an example, especially from what the regional minister did with the onion sellers. And perhaps he should continue and move him and move the rest. And we should support him. 100%.
The issues about the Odo River and the Kole Lagoon captured prominently in both the Graphic and the Times. Other stories in the Daily Graphic: 3 ministers directed to brief Parliament on Boko. Story on page 13, and it reads: the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Joseph Osei-Wusu, has directed the Ministers of National Security, Defence and the Interior to appear before the House to brief members on the security situation in Boko in the Upper East region. And the story goes on later to say the directive came after some members of Parliament from both sides of the House raised concerns over the current emerging conflict in Boko. The MPs said to escalate the tension in the area, the 3 ministers must brief the House on the situation to help unravel the factors behind the conflict and what urgent steps are needed to diffuse the tension. I think that all of us at the table would say that this was a timely call, because we don't want the situation to get any worse than it already is. Already lives have been lost, and we just want it to end.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this Boko has been going on for too long, and I think that at a certain point it must end. I mean, we cannot go on in perpetuity with that. My boss used to be at the Agogo, I said Agogo. The Presbyterian hospital there is still run by the Agogo people, but the Presbyterian hospital in Boko, and he used to, he says that he used to see where people, seemingly going about their normal business, and yet they had guns with them, which they could pull out at any time, and then start firing and stuff like that. We would hope that over the years that has changed, but I mean, gauging from what has happened, it doesn't look like it's gotten any better at all, and it doesn't help development in the area, because who is going to go to an area where people seemingly are going about their normal business and yet are carrying guns, so that at the sound of whistle ping, then they are shooting and killing each other. Yes, some of these conflicts, they have gone on for so long. The people have actually even forgotten the history that started them, or the history that started them has been distorted along the way. You understand? Starts. And I think what people should realize that it doesn't matter what the history is. We want to move forward, and in moving forward, what we do is to come to a compromise and say, yes, you may have wronged me, but I am the bigger and I am the greater person, and so I forgive you, because it is the greater good that is important. And I think that we need a lot more peacemakers in that area. Speaking to the people. Speaking to the how would I what do they call them, influencers in the opinion leaders, the influencers in that area, that we need to move on.
Ellen, what are your thoughts? The Minority Chief Whip also made the comment that the minister's brief would help to address the accusation that members of even security services are part of the reasons why the conflict is persisting.
Well, that is a new dimension that is being brought into this whole matter, and until we have evidence to prove it, I think we should hold on to it, because the military also brought a statement yesterday. I heard them saying that is not the truth. But as I said, there's a new thing on this Boku matter. Isn't it the same Boku issue that the Asantehene sat on for years?
No, that was the Yendi one.
Okay, so I'm confusing the two. But this one has been running for years. And if I remember, earlier this year, the Boku Naba came to see the president. And the president, in his statement, mentioned two things that really stuck in my brain. One, the amount of money that has gone to keep the peace in that area for over the years. We could have easily used that money for developmental projects for them. And he's right. Look at the the security, the military, the police, the BNI, all of these things that are going on. So couldn't we have used those monies to build schools, to build hospitals, the Presbyterian hospital that you're talking about? Which one? Oh, are they still okay with the way they are, and though rather that the money be used to pay the security people to be there to keep the peace between two brothers? Then another news item: Ghana Education Service have given leave to over 100 teachers to leave
because they are afraid.
Because they are afraid for security reasons. My sister, my daughter, my brother, or my sister who has been sent there, either as a teacher, as a medical personnel, I bet you by now you are home. Isn't it the young police woman was shot on the motorbike? I think she's been buried this weekend. So it's not just them. It is affecting every single one of us because they are part of Ghana. And other Ghanaians will go there and go and work. I have one of my law school mates who was the administrator for the Boku Presbyterian Hospital for a very long time. And I get worried when he has to, these things come up and we have to be in school and you can see he has to leave lectures and go back because, you know, he has to go and administer. So all of us as Ghanaians are affected. It's not just them. And it's been running for years. Sometimes when you are speaking about these things, you have to be careful so that you don't step on toes you shouldn't step on. But sometimes I think we should start speaking truth to power, start telling them as it is. What you are doing is affecting every single one of us, and it's not fair. How can you have a war that people actually inherit? Those who are fighting today, do they know when it started? Do they know the people who started it? Those who have started it are dead and gone. Instead of moving on with your life and getting yourself improved as a society, as a group, you are still fighting a how many year old war that you don't even understand. What is it?
Which history is probably distorted
and
now.
You know this, it is the women and the children who are going to suffer. Because breadwinners, men who are supposed to provide for their children are being killed.
I think both ladies agree that there must be an end to the clashes.
No, it's frustrating, it's sad. And I'm so passionate about it because I have schoolmates I went to school with 25 years ago, and there were times they couldn't go home. On vacations, they can't go home because the place is not safe. And they have to, now, Ellen, can I go home with you? And can I go? That sort of, why would you put your own people through this? There are people who are down out there. They haven't been home for years because of this matter.
Peace in Boko is what the call at the table is, a unanimous call from the ladies here. A reminder also that it's Heritage Month on GTV and we are celebrating everything Ghanaian this month on GBC's platforms. We want to just let you know and just have a sneak peek of what's happening across the studio from me. We are having the ladies from Cake Boutiques and Decor, and they are making some delicious apapransa for us this morning. And Comfort and her lady are just there now. Ellen and Susan have promised to have my head if they don't have a bite of this apapransa before they go. So that's just the process going on. It smells delicious, doesn't it? Comfort, what's happening there?
Okay, so we are on the process of the apapransa. We are done with the soup. We are about to mix the flour with the apapransa.
Okay, so it's just plain palm nut soup as we make it at home every day.
Yes.
Okay, and then what do we do with it?
So with the plain palm nut soup, you add the apapransa powder to it. Stir it a bit for a while.
What's the apapransa powder made of?
Corn.
Corn.
Blended corn.
Blended corn. So you can buy corn from the market, blend it, and then put it in the palm nut soup. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Isn't it roasted?
Fresh corn?
No, not fresh corn. Partially baked.
Roasted.
Tom Brown.
Roasted, exactly.
So if you have Tom Brown, you can use it to do an
Tom Brown has some extra ingredients, so you can't use Tom Brown for it.
You want only the roasted corn?
Yes.
Which has been made into powder?
Exactly.
And then what portions are we looking at? How much corn should go, how much roasted corn should go into?
So if you have like a cup of corn powder, you can use almost like 2 cups of the palm soup.
Okay, 2 cups of palm soup to about 1 cup of corn.
Exactly.
So that's what you'll be trying to do now?
Yes.
All right.
So our soup is ready. The corn powder is here. We will just mix it to it. Gently. And then we'll give it a good stir. It should a bit watery so that it won't be so stiff for you to stir.
So we are stirring it like we stir banku, or if you are making fufu on a pot, right?
Yes. So in the beginning, if it is a bit watery, don't worry, it's okay. Because when it is too stiff, it will be very hard when you are done. Right. And when it is stiff, whilst you are stirring, you can add a little of the palm soup to it to make it softer.
Smells delicious.
Yeah, can't wait to eat it myself. So as you stir, you realize that it's malleable, very easy to turn. I'm going to add a little of the palm soup to it. It's very easy and fast. In fact, when you do it, it doesn't really take much time.
I don't know why all the men are just saying, oh, but tell my auntie a woman. Like, women and men eat together. So it's not about, oh, Thelma, like, because we are women. You are men, you also eat. So it's a men and woman. Eating is an all-gender thing. So men and women together should learn to do this. So we are teaching the women to make apapransa. We are teaching people to make apapransa. That smells delicious. Yes. Both will have a perfect birthday. Stephen Adoboating, today is your birthday. We are wishing you happy birthday with Apapransa. Comfort, your lady's birthday is also today, right?
Yes, Araba's birthday today.
Oh, Araba, happy birthday. So you and both will be having a party later,
we'll be cutting
later on. After the Apapransa party.
Yes.
Please tell me you brought crabs as well.
We did.
Apapransa is not the same without crabs.
No, there is no.
And I understand you put some beans in it as well. At which point does that go in?
When it's almost ready, because when you add it whilst you are mixing, all the beans will crash. You will not see the beauty of the beans. So when it's almost done.
How long should you stir it for?
Oh, for about 5 to 7 minutes, it should be ready.
Okay. So at this point, all your seasoning and everything will be in the soup already. So no need to add salt.
No need to add anything. Else. Yes.
Just
and one thing,
the powder.
Yes, please. One thing about Apapransa palm nut soup, you don't have to make it too thick, and then it should be medium done. The soup should be medium done. It shouldn't be well cooked because you cook the soup and Apapransa together.
Okay. So while the powder is in there, the soup is also cooking an extra few minutes.
Yes, please.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be too well.
Yeah.
So keep at it, and then we'll link up with you again.
Okay.
And Araba, when we pick a few more stories on our headlines. Okay.
Okay.
Because Susan and Ellen want their Apapransa before they leave, and we have to make sure we get that ready. Thank you, Comfort and Araba. Thank you. So you're still watching Breakfast on GTV, and this is our Heritage Month on GTV. We've been doing and celebrating all cultures across the country since the beginning of the month, and we are also highlighting the importance of our traditional foods. Today, all of us are dressed in this morning colors to support our brothers and sisters in La, who are burying the late La Manche tomorrow, and this whole week activities have been going on in the palace to give him a befitting farewell. Kafui will be reading some of the messages if the spirit allows. This spirit
is a deaf and dumb one.
The spirit sometimes doesn't talk, but hopefully this time it will. and he has arrived. He's arriving alive, running across the studio to read our messages.
Abrafwe! Abrafwe!
Yay!
Abrafwe!
Abrafwe!
Ah! 055-556-1034. Messages.
Is that the spirit's telephone number?
I think so.
Tama.
Yes?
Read.
I should read. The Kole Lagoon, once the spirit directs, I have to read. The Kole Lagoon in the early 1950s supported thriving fishery during the construction of Job 600, known as the State House. Indeed, unwanted construction materials was dropped in the lagoon. And this is from Alhaji Dauda in Medina Estates. A key reminder that these are comments and opinions by those who send them, and they do not reflect the views of GBC or its presenters. Good morning, BFS. I've witnessed governments come and go and huge sums spent on sanitation in the capital. Still, nothing changes. After all those money spent, I think there has to be a law enforced attached to it to punish those who engage in that. Okay, so we're trying to pick a few more of your messages. We Ghanaians should change our attitude because we are the cause of our problems. Dumping of waste into our gutters and the river is the cause of the flood in Greater Accra. Every year, government spends a lot of money on the Odo, and still this issue keeps on recurring. Government should relocate the people staying there and also smash on recycling of plastic waste. Keep Ghana clean. Teacher Kofi is saying this from Shama.
Read.
Hey, Kafui Day, scare me. I'm not sure I can sleep well today. Is that charcoal on his face, by the way? Just so you know.
He actually does look scary.
So will the spirit eat some of their papansa is my question. You are still scaring people. Oh my God, I love you, Kaf. Ha ha ha. You guys are really doing a great job. We love you too. Nana Ekiamwa Boating Ablikuma Central, aka E-Levy is good. Good morning, Kaf. Did I hear Speaker Bagwin is demanding an extra $50,000 for what? This man must get serious so he can choose to farm in Dubai. No one cares as the green light has been given to the court that the first and second deputy speakers can vote for deciding. That's according to Nana Ekiamwa Boating. Efua comes back. Oh, Ghana, ain't we tired of littering around? It's costing us a great deal. Indeed, it is, and we really should improve on our attitudes. I agree with you there, Efua. Thank you for sending that message. Cleanliness is next to godliness. I wonder what people go to church to do when even we can't take care of our environment. Maazi Odogu Putin from Kofodia is saying, what a name. We Ghanaians, our own problems, we try to hold the politicians for our problem, but we have forgotten we used to threaten them with our votes. And that's what Boomer is saying. Togbe says we need to enforce our sanitation laws, and those who are paid to do the cleaning must continue cleaning. We need to actually practice more recycling, reuse and reduce plastic usage, and all plastic production companies are also find solutions to their products. Endpoints. So there are the main points and the endpoints. Recycling factory will help. This can create jobs for the poor and keep Ghana clean. We all have to play our part. Let's all do something from today to help. Join us on Sunday at Tawala Beach cleanup. Okay, so cleanup coming up at Tawala Beach. That's a good one. Thank you for sending the message. The lawlessness in Ghana is becoming too much. Seemingly, we don't know what we want as Ghanaians. Sad. McLean Desmond said so. Scanuo SKA New says, hey, Togbe Agokoli.
Agokoli. Agokoli. Brenye.
Togbe Agokoli. Togbe Gan. This is Gan. Togbe Gan Agokoli.
Manupoma.
No. No. This one
now
I missed
divine language has come in there.
Man of the breakfast show. That's the hashtag we love to see. King Calf with the victory sign. Isn't there supposed to be fresh plantain leaf in his mouth? The spirit doesn't talk. That's why I'm reading the messages, by the way. The spirit doesn't talk much. We are celebrating our culture, and now we can't tell whether you're executioner or the
warrior.
Hey. We are finished. Okay, last one, spirit. Okay, we should leave it. Thank you, Cap, for allowing yourself to be led by the spirits to order me to read some of the messages. Ladies, so you've seen what people have to say, and you've seen Cap in action as well. Also, the Upper Prancer, do you want to make a few comments before we jump on to the next topic on our line?
On the Upper Prancer.
The Upper Prancer and...
As for the Upper Prancer, we eat some before we go. But the comment you made earlier about somebody saying you are teaching women, you are not teaching women. No. Some of the men too, you can cook and you can cook well, please. Do this. The weekend is coming. As a man that haven't spent time with your children and your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, Upper Prancer for her tomorrow morning.
And I think that, of course, now you see Upper Prancer at a lot at our functions, but we do have some dishes that are dying out, and it would be good to bring those dishes.
Which ones do you think
that are dying out?
Yesterday we had Ofam.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I used to do Ofam for my children until they rebelled, and then Potom, you know, next time doing Potom. Even Angwamo, I think that
Angwamo,
you know, yes, Angwamo
with some beef, tolu beef, salted
you know,
one.
but a lot of our, yes, we should, you know, the fried rice is too much.
Yeah.
Apart from the vegetables, Angwamo is like fried rice without the vegetables.
Yeah, but then the Angwamo doesn't have the spices, too much of it, like the fried rice.
But you know, that's a lot of the things that we've been eating, and our children end up eating rice. We should introduce more of these things to them so that they can eat them. I mean, I think that the longest process is making the soup, you know, but once the soup is
people
done,
have a different way of making it without the soup.
Yes, so they don't do the soup. They do a gravy stew with palm oil. You know, so they do the gravy stew with palm oil, and then they would add water and then add the corn powder and do it. So, you know, it has similar taste. The jengpleng, it has similar taste, and is really good. You know, eat it with hot pepper. But I think that we should showcase a lot more of our foods and introduce our children to them at early ages so that they can have that taste. Yeah.
Right. Heritage Month on GTV and hashtag is GTV Breakfast across social media. This is a headline segment. Ellen and Susan are helping me analyze the stories in the newspapers. Parliament fails to approve loan agreement for the second time in 2 weeks. Graphic carrying the story on page 24. For the second time in the second session of the 8th Parliament, the lack of quorum in the House compelled the House to suspend the approval of two major loan agreements within 2 weeks. The House failed to approve a €38 million loan agreement meant for the construction of 3 40-bed district hospitals due to lack of quorum on Thursday, March 10. The failure to approve the €38 million facility, which is the agreement between the government of Ghana and the Deutsche Bank of Frankfurt, came after the National Democratic Congress NDC MP for Tamale Central, Mr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, raised an objection on the lack of quorum. So the lack of numbers or the lack of presence in the House on the floor of Parliament yesterday led to the suspension of two loans. And this is coming on the heels of absenteeism issues concerning some MPs already in the public domain, and calls for some seats to be declared even vacant because of being away without permission. So this, I would say, is bringing to the fore the importance of members of Parliament and the need for them to be in the House to see to the House issues. I'll start with Ellen this time. Absenteeism, this is a lack of quorum that's cost us the approval of two loans for hospitals.
Well, that has been the bane of Parliament since 1992, especially when we have a system where whichever ruling party is compelled by our constitution, which I think needs a review. One of the things we should add to the review they are compelled by the Constitution. The President is compelled to choose 50% or more of his ministers and deputy ministers from Parliament. Now, when you have an MP who has to do his work, and he has to also do the work of a minister, this is and it's been the case since '93. It brings to the fore the urgency in us actually, making the Constitution the living document that it is supposed to be, so that we have pure or true separation of powers. If you go into Parliament to be an MP, you are there to approve loans, you are there to make laws, you are there to speak on behalf of your constituents. So you stick in there and you do the job. So the people who go to Parliament go there as legislators. They do not go there with the intention that I might be able to catch the eye of the president if my party is in power, and therefore become a minister and advance my political career. There are people who are really interested in being career parliamentarians. Perhaps we should look at helping ourselves develop that path, so that we'll have experienced people who are there to work on our laws for us. Until we do that, this is going to be part of our problem till.
Susan, do you agree?
Oh, definitely. I think that constitutional reform is important, and this is one of the things that must change. The president picking most of his ministers from Parliament, so that already takes away people from Parliament, and they are 137. So if quite a number of them are ministers already, so they are out. And they're deputy ministers also, so they are also out. Then MPP is holding its polling station executives elections, the internal elections, and in certain places, especially their World Bank, when you win the primaries, you have virtually won the seat. So who the polling station agent is, or polling station executive is really important. And so, the parliamentarians have left there to go and see how they can influence the people who are voted for at the polling station level. Of course, they vacated their seats again. So, Parliament is virtually empty. Because if it's equal numbers in Parliament, and the other side are virtually doing everything to maintain their seat, or being ministers or being deputy ministers, the Parliament will be empty.
The opposition has taken the opportunity and left.
All of
they
course,
also have to go to their constituencies.
they are using. Why not? If you've given them the opportunity to go to their constituencies, they are also going to their constituencies to consolidate their seats. So, and this is what we have, and this must change. I think that that's why we talk about the constitutional reform. The winner takes all kind of elections that we have, where if you win, then everything belongs in this country, then becomes your party property, and you can do as you will. All the goodies come to you, and so there's the desperation and the what do you call it? The all out to win the elections by. This is what will happen, and I think that we need to move to a proportional representation, or to a position where we can have coalition governments, and that comes out of constitutional reform and electoral changes. So I think that is one of the ways to address this issue: constitutional reform.
Right. Parliament adjourned sitting for lack of quorum is how the Ghanaian Times carried that story on page 18. Also in the Ghanaian Times, 2 die following renewed chieftaincy clashes in Jangtong, and our panel in relation to the Boko issues have already called for peace. So I'll read a short piece of the story. 2 persons have died in renewed chieftaincy clashes, and 5 others suffered injuries from gunshot wounds in Jangtong in the northeast Gonja district of the Savannah region. Apart from the deaths and injuries, the incident, which occurred in the early hours of Wednesday, resulted in the burning of some houses. A joint police commentary has been deployed to the area to ensure calm. And the latest incident is as a result of long-standing chieftaincy disputes between the people of Jantong and Bamvim, both in the northeast Gonja district. But because the ladies have already spoken and called for peace for the Boko issue, perhaps we can emphasize other stories in the newspapers. Baka Vomawo finally bailed. The Ghanaian Times carrying the story. Oliver Baka Vomawo, a convener of the hashtag Fix the Country movement, has finally had his liberties sureties for the accused, who has been charged with treason felony, have been able to secure his bail conditions. And after officials of Lands Valuation Board verified various properties pertaining to the bail bond. As at 3 p.m., supporters of the accused who were at the premises of the Tema High Court were in a jubilant mood when word went round that their leader had finally secured the bail bond and had been verified. And that story is on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times. The Minister for Information is telling Ghanaians that the opportunity will be given for TV channels in Ghana to go global. That story is captured in the Finder and also in the graphic, page 20. And also there's a call to establish a regulatory framework for the media, and that is also in the Ghanaian Times. The government to scale up investment to tackle road safety issues. President Akufo-Addo has been speaking about road safety for a while now, and he's saying investment will be scaled up to tackle road safety issues. All those stories we could have looked at, but we are quickly running out of time. I wonder which of these the ladies would want to pick on before we touch in quickly with the papransa, and then we come to eating of the papransa off the camera. But I wonder which of these you'd want to pick on.
I still want to insist on the chieftaincy matter.
Okay.
It's not just up north, we have chieftaincy matters all over Ghana. And just as we are calling for a review of the constitution in relation to parliament and other arms of government, you know, chieftaincy is also in our constitution. Perhaps we should look at it and have ways we can solve these issues, because almost every community in our country is dealing with a chieftaincy dispute or the other. The problem is when the dispute degenerates to where people have to lose their lives. When you lose your life, you are gone. Whoever will become chief will become chief.
So, Ellen, there's a chieftaincy issue. Bakavomawo finally being granted bail.
Yes, finally he's out, and we thank God for his life, and we thank God that he has finally decided to do what he has to do to get us. But he said he's also ready for trial. Yes. So let's see how it will end. But with this, all I'll say is that all of us who are in the public space, it doesn't matter whether you're on TV, you are on Facebook, you are everywhere, we should watch what we say. It's as simple as that. Susan,
road safety, because Ellen has picked on Bakavomawo and then the chieftaincy. Perhaps the president's call to scale up investment to tackle road safety may attract your attention. Over 80 people died in motorcycle crashes in Tamale metropolis alone. And that story is also in the Daily Graphic, and you were talking about it a bit earlier on. The president says there will be some investments going towards road safety measures.
Well, there must be a lot more, because even if you look at the number of deaths compared to that of COVID, I mean, COVID is nowhere near it. And for us, that is our pandemic, and that we need to take seriously. I mean, if you're going to look at the disaster profile of this country, road traffic accidents is one of the things that, you know, we have a high mortality for it. And you know, we ought to take it serious, because we are losing too many lives on our roads. I mean, if you see the motorcycles, there's absolutely no law working, lawlessness. There's a policeman standing there, and the motorcycles are crossing when it is red. I mean, and you just wonder, they are so careless with their lives, and you wonder why people would risk their lives. You know, we need to educate them for them to recognize that it's their lives they're playing with. You know, that kind of devil may dare attitude doesn't help them. It doesn't help their family. It doesn't help the nation. But first and foremost, you're dead and gone. And at a very young age, you know, because the people who do this are young men. You know, you would really find a female motorcycle rider doing that kind of, you know, careless reckless devil may care attitude. You know, they cross you at will, they jump red lights, they have absolute. Look, I always say, if somebody, you know, pardon me, but if somebody were to kill one of them, you can't blame the person. Automatically, even before you hear the story, you would think that the motorcycle was in the wrong. And you don't want that. You don't want the situation when they go to our hospitals and the medical personnel find out that they are motorcycle riders. They're treated differently.
That's what happens now.
Well, I mean,
no, that is what happens now. I've witnessed it myself.
Yeah, I mean,
when I was involved in a
the person doesn't care about his life. How are you supposed to be struggling to save him? You know, I'm not saying that is right, but another thing that I wanted to say quickly on us going global and sending. Why has the West dominated? It's because they have sent their culture across. They have dominated in our language. They have permeated all our culture and with many things, you know. And it's arising because they have put their culture out there. We watch so many films, American films, and then it makes us think that all good things must come from them. We must send our culture across for people to see the beautiful side of us as Ghanaians, as Africans. It is the only way we can go back to being the civilization that we first were before anybody else.
Ladies, thank you so much. I'll be going over to check on the food. Yes?
Good morning to my daddy.
Your daddy?
Sakwesia Santidel.
Always. Yeah. Always. Good morning to you, Daddy Deco. And we'll be... we want you to do one thing for us very quickly. We'll be sitting down with an official from the La Manches Palace who will tell us about what's happening today for the final funeral rites of the late La Manche, Dr. Ni Hobi Churu III. And so Valerie will be having that conversation. We want you to grab your phones, go to our WhatsApp. The number is 055-5561-034. Tell us what you miss when it comes to old tunes from Ghana, old Ghanaian songs that you miss. We are standing by our international DJ, DJ Tisco International, to make a list of what you send us so that we play it to you in a few minutes. So, old Ghanaian tunes that you miss, send them to us now. WhatsApp number 055-556130, and the Oblafo is still standing by, rubbing his hands, ready to take us away. We'll go over to Comfort and Araba in a bit to tell us how they are doing on that Upper Pransa side of the table. And I'll be joining them pretty shortly. CAF is in the way, and I'm going to try and navigate all the stuff that's going on there. But Comfort and Araba from Cakes, Boutiques and Decor, been helping us with our Upper Pransa today, and Comfort will explain to us how she came by this lovely meal. Ladies at the table, you don't want to go away because I see that some meals have been served, and so once you are sorted out, you can just make your way this way, and then we can sample this. But you made the soup ahead of time. Take us through that soup making process whilst the ladies get ready to walk past the Oblafo to get here. So you made the soup, palm soup.
So with the palm soup, you need the abepa and our greg. You have to mix it together, wash it neatly, boil it. After boiling, you need some.
Okay, so on the screen is what you are explaining to us now.
Okay, so you wash
just
it
tell
neatly.
us what's happening. We wash it,
palm it,
we pound it, and then we
mix
do
some
this.
warm water with it.
Okay, why warm water?
When you palm the nut, it will mostly get cold, and then the oil comes to the surface.
Okay.
So when you use the warm water, it allows it to melt easily. And you can easily take off the husks without messing up so much.
Okay. Then we remove the husks out of it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we are seeing on the screen.
So when you take off the husks, now you get the palm itself, the one you can use for the palm soup.
Okay. All right. We are
that's
removing
the husk
from.
So after that, you strain it to take off all the other particles and also the nuts from it.
Okay. And then
you can strain it like 2 times so that you don't get any nuts or any husk in it. So that's the palm soup you can see. Now these are the vegetables we use for the soup: onions, tomatoes, pepper, spices, some dry fish to give it flavor, and also some chili sauce.
Okay. Why chili sauce? Is that shito the regular shito we have at home?
No, this is black pepper.
Okay.
Mixed together with red pepper
So
and some brown pepper.
We are boiling now.
Yes. So you boil it, allow it to simmer. After that, you blend all your tomatoes, your onion, pepper, correct the seasoning, and then your abenquine is ready for you to start your apapansa.
Okay. So it's the regular way we know how to make abenquine.
Yes.
You are pouring the blended vegetables in now. You're
Yes.
not straining it again. You're
No.
just pouring it straight in.
Yes, straight
to give
in.
it a bit of fiber.
Fiber and also taste and flavor.
What's that thing you've tied in the soup?
Okay, so in my language, it's called dentra. It's also it's used to enhance the aroma and taste of the abenquine.
Okay.
Yes.
That should taste nice. So now after doing all the stirring and mixing on fire, this is what we've come up with, the apapansa and
Apapansa with our caramelized onions in palm oil.
Okay. How do we caramelize the onions?
Oh, so you cut the onions into strips and then you toss it a bit in palm oil.
Okay.
And that's it.
So this is what we have. Ladies, are you sure you are interested in this apapansa? It's going down, so come for your own share. And so we see the bigger crabs and the little. Abrafo is serving food. Okay. Let me have a step back. Really? You're not even supposed to be talking, Abrafo. Okay. So we are sending some of the food to CAF. Go on. And ladies, you can tell us how it tastes. Then I will try mine here as well. Can I have the big crab? Because where there's food, there's stomach.
The big crab.
Cap, you're going to scare the ladies from eating. Yes, go on. Tell us what you think, Ellen and Susan.
Talk well.
It's good? Yep. Okay, I'm
There is more.
So you're not under duress?
No duress. This one is
That's a great one. Thank you for the positive reviews. If you want to know more about making apapansa, get in touch with Cakes, Boutiques and Decor. Comfort and Araba here have taught us how to put this beautiful meal together, and they have other offers they have other stuff on offer. Follow them across social media and patronize from them. Take advantage of their services to enjoy some delicious Ghanaian meals. We've told you already to send your messages of the greatest tunes from old that you want DJ Tisco International to put together for you, and we'll be playing that very shortly. Valerie is getting ready to engage the representative of the La royal household, and he will be speaking to us about the funeral of the late La Manche, burial expected to take place tomorrow. It's still Breakfast Live on GTV, and there's more to expect after the break. We'll be back.
And they call me UJ. Oh, yeah. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pampers, so we try was suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button go do, we go straight to stardom. And I go take you to next level. Oh, my baby, oh yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah. I'll take you to next level. Oh, my baby, oh yeah.
I don't code next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana. and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. So we were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me more. Tell me more. Hey, tell me more. Tell me, beer.
They ma worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. Oh, now
yes. Buga, nade. Senior, name me and you ma cut down my business is a collapse. My house are bounced.
So won't take quick credit in car.
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit. Who pesika? Edi a start here, you may be. Who here bisia? Edi a true UDM. Who a government and a private worker? Who pesika de ati hot so? Who ye bosumi ejuma? Who ye sika de bibin tempai so? Quick credit be ma loan. Em what you ane kakra. Na elije sem kese ne say. E collateral free loaner, susu, savings, account opening, and deposit as MBL. Ye here ne say, who Ghana card. 2022 there. 1 year juma. Na wa na wa yo. Who need excuse here? Press quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 But see na quick credit take us out.
I am 7 years old.
Beep, beep, beep.
I am 4 years old.
We are 12 years old.
It's been 1 year since I started my antiretroviral treatment.
You can live a long, productive life with antiretroviral treatment. With antiretroviral treatment, HIV-positive expectant mothers can have healthy HIV-negative babies. Go to the nearest health center, test and know your HIV status. If you are positive, ask about antiretroviral treatment and you will receive help. Antiretroviral treatment is your only option for a long and fulfilling life.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Again, welcome to this side of the breakfast table, and as here at GBC we're still mourning His Royal Majesty Ni Dr. Pobi Tete Churu III Lamanche, who reigned for 31 years as Paramount Chief of La State, and he finally joins his ancestors today. Government officials, chiefs, the Traditional Council, and the general public have truly mourned Lamanche for the past 5 days for contributing his quota to the La community. We are going to be talking to the Assistant Secretary of the La Manche Funeral Planning Committee in the person of Mr. Jeffrey Tete, and he's going to tell us what some of the rights mean, why Tete Churu is still lying in state, what some of the rights mean, and generally some of the activities planned for today and the weekend. Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. It's a pleasure having you. Accept our condolences, the whole of GBC. Accept our condolences. Today marks the 5th day. Well, the preparations, the whole funeral process began on Monday, but it's been laying in state for the past 3 days. And is it going to continue into today, into tomorrow? Tell us what's the lineup like?
Okay, thank you very much once again, and a hearty good morning to all viewers of GTV. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the Director General, Mr. Amin Al-Hassan, for his immense contribution to this funeral. Again, another thankfulness to Mr. George Lumote, Director of Television, for his support as well. Like you rightly said, the people of La, Gadangme, and the entire Ghana are mourning one fallen hero, named Dr. Bobi Tetechru, the paramount chief of the La traditional area. And when I say La traditional area, I'm talking about the entirety of La, which stretches from the shoreline to Pedwasi on the Ebri Hill, and then all the way to Amrahia. Yes, the funeral process started on Monday, the 14th of March 2022. And since Wednesday, Ni has been lying in state for the public to view, including dignitaries. And as you are rightly aware, His Excellency was there on Wednesday to file past and pay his last respect. Because he happens to be a good friend of Ni, and they all attend the same church at Rich Church. Now, today, the funeral is climaxing with the burial. But this morning, as we speak, filing past is still ongoing, and by 9:30, the chiefs.
What's on our screens now? There's a split screen. That's you, and then these are live pictures from the grounds. Yeah.
This is the arrival of the various quarters.
Right.
It's one of the quarters arriving onto the funeral grounds. La has 7 divisions, 7 quarters, and this is one of the quarters arriving onto the funeral grounds. And what is happening is that all the quarters are going to arrive one after the other.
Right.
They have their places to sit beside the traditional council members, and so one of the quarters is arriving. Just close by is the memorial hall where Ni is lying in state, and then from where they are standing towards the left.
From where the cameraman is standing. Okay.
I think from what I see, this is the Abese quarter. Looking at the people I'm seeing, this is the Abese quarter.
Abese quarter.
Yes, they are arriving currently onto the grounds. I think they are occupying the first canopy, yes, as the designation over there is rightly showing. So once they sit, the next quarter would also arrive.
How many quarters?
8 quarters.
We're expecting 8 quarters.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
namely, can you name them?
So we have Abafun, where I come from.
Okay.
We have Abese. We have Kui, that's Ni's family. That's his quarter. Yeah. And then we have Agbawe. We have Mati Jase. Then we have Mati Abonase. Then we have Klana. And then we also have the Anaho, where the Mankalo Hills. So all the quarters are going to arrive. They will take their seats. Initially, they will file past. They will move around the arena, and then they will take their greets and take their seat. Now, the days over there is where the traditional council members, the chiefs, are going to be seated.
Right.
And then once everybody has, all the quarters have taken their seats, there will be the arrival of the traditional council members. Now, as soon as they take their seats, the door to the memorial hall where Ni is lying will be shut, and at exactly 10 a.m. the burial service, non-denominational burial service, will commence. Now, it's expected to last for about 2 hours, maximum 2 hours, after which Ni's mortal remains will be handed over to the traditional rites performers. Now, Ni, as the paramount chief of La, also happens to be the chief priest, Ulomo, of La. So his role is dual. And so he's going to have the rites, final rites for the chief, and then the final rites for the Ulomo, all be performed for him. After that, he will now be put in his casket, and the casket will be moved out from the memorial hall. Now, as the casket moves out, there will be the slaughtering of a cow, and he's supposed to pass through the blood. So symbolically, the blood will be sprinkled on the casket.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is the final rite that will be performed for him. From there, the casket is not going to be put down. It's going to be carried, not in a hearse, but by men who are going to carry him through the principal streets of La Town. And symbolically, he's going to go to every quarter all the 8 quarters, and then will bid farewell to him. Now, this is what happens. Once he gets to the quarter, an elder from that quarter would come out with a calabash of water and then pour it, symbolizing that they are bidding him farewell. From there, he moves to the next quarter, and then the same thing will be done at all the shrines. So at the shrine, it is the priest. For instance, when we get to the Lakpa shrine where the Lakpa Ulomo is, he's going to do that to bid him farewell. When he gets to the Nayumo shrine, Kolo shrine, the same thing will be done. Once he's done with the quarters and the shrines, then they are going to carry him continuously towards the royal mausoleum, where we call Manchemagomi. Now, halfway to the mausoleum, all members of the public are going to be stopped and they are going to be asked to return, with the exception of just the carriers, the Asafwachemi, and then the Amlakui, who are going to perform the final rites at the cemetery. By this time, we are almost in the dark.
Okay.
And so everything that happens from there would be at the cemetery, and it's the preserve of only the rites performers who would take that. So no member of the public, no media, nothing.
Right.
Once he's buried, they will return to La Town. And then the following morning, which is Saturday, tomorrow, the entire community in their Asafo regalia, each quarter will be led by their Asafo and Asafo Achemi. They'll go back to the mausoleum to inspect his tomb and make sure that no animal has gone there to dig out his mortal remains, and no one has come to steal the body away. You know, we cherish our royals, so even when they are buried, we need to ensure that they are safe wherever they are. After that, we'll come back to town, and on Sunday there'll be the service in his honor, and that's the lineup. So by Sunday, we'll bring everything to a climax.
A close. Right. Okay. We have some videos that we are going to be playing soon, and then we'll ask you to interpret it, because we are in a Heritage Month series and we are learning everything Ghanaian and trying to understand our culture and some of our practices better. And so there's a video coming up shortly where we'll have Mr. Jeffrey Tete take us through what it means. Okay. So Jeff, what's this?
Okay. So
what's this right?
This happens to be the first of all the rites that was performed this week on Monday. Now, symbolically, when a royal from La dies, we do not use ordinary water from the tap to bath for him, and his body is not prepared at the morgue. The body has to be brought home to the maternal grandmother's home. So in this case, it was at Klana. Now, the little girls you see are young girls selected from all the 8 quarters.
Okay.
Now, they will carry this pot through a distance of about 1.5 kilometers from town to a stream we call Jubilee Wells.
Jubilee Wells.
That is the only water that is used to bath for royals and to perform certain rituals within La. And this water has been flowing since time immemorial. It's never stopped. I'm sure one day you get the opportunity to go and witness for yourself. It's a very small stream. And so they will go there and come back to town with the water.
Which one is this one?
I think this is another procession from one of the quarters. I'm here to identify. Okay, this is still the Abese people. You know, the Asafo groups are quite, they are huge. So sometimes part of the same Asafo group takes a different course because they may have to perform some rites somewhere before coming. So the first group from the Abese has arrived with some of their leaders, and then this is the second group, still from Abese. They are also heading towards the grounds. Yeah, so it's still the Abese people you are seeing around. I can now, I think we are back to the
first procession with the young ladies.
Yes, with the young ladies. So they went to the Jubilee Wells to fetch the water. Now, they would carry the water through that distance.
So this is them coming from the Jubilee Wells?
From the Jubilee Wells.
Right.
It is Jubilee, not Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Jubilee. J-U-B-L-I. Jubilee.
Jubilee.
All right.
What can you tell us a bit history about it? Jubilee.
Honestly speaking, I can't tell the origin of the name. Yeah, but I know it has to do with the area.
Right.
You know, when you come to La, most of our traditional edifices are named according to either the deities or the area. So this is the name of the deity, and it has to do with the area where it's sited.
Right.
So, like I was saying, they'll go back and forth, fetching the water 3 times until a larger pot.
Why did they just stop? They just stopped the procession. The gentleman leading the procession with the machetes. They just stopped. Why?
They are the Asafwachemi. So they are the pace setters. They are the ones who actually paved the way for. In the olden days, usually the whole place is bushy, so they will have to clear the path before the procession continues, and symbolically that's what they are doing. So they will stop, make the people halt, as if they are clearing the path, like symbolizing what it has always been. So they will clear the path before the procession continues until the path is bushy again, then they continue clearing. Yeah, these are some of the
older women,
priestesses who are also, trying to add color to the whole process that was taking place on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this water will be brought to Klana, the maternal grandmother's house, to fill a larger pot. And by the time they have gone the 3 rounds, the pot would have been full. It is believed, and it is true, that that bigger pot, the amount of water that fills it is actually going to bath for me. And that's how. Yeah. Fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
When I feel manche make a royals pay.
Royals when they die.
Fire.
Yeah.
Okay. So 31 years of His Majesty's rule. What will the people of La remember him for?
One is the humility of Dr. Obitatechu. The man is a total embodiment of humility. For those who know Dr. Obitatechu, they're going to tell you that they've never seen him in extravagant regalia. He always wanted to look simple as much as possible. And his concerns are that it is better for him to look simple and rather help his people than to dress in flashy regalia whilst his people are suffering. So his humility is the first thing that comes to mind, and everybody will attest to that. He has attended quite a number of state functions. Anytime he's given the invitation, he does not turn his back on the authorities. He would attend. At a point in time, every year, in the independence celebration, you would see him. Whenever there's a wreath laying ceremony in this country, you see him. He was almost everywhere, but exhibiting his usual self in his humble elements. Again, the relative peace that the people of La have enjoyed over the past 31 years is another thing we'll remember Ni for. He ensured that La remained peaceful. A couple of years ago, there were a few disturbances. Ni was never at peace until there was reconciliation in La. I think that was in 2006. And ever since, we have not had any such disturbances in our community. So these are the things we remember him for. He fought and made sure that we attained the status of a paramountcy. He also ensured that he spoke with the state authorities, and today, as we speak, La has become a municipality. So when you look at all these things, you would realize that he's somebody who is development oriented. The La Presbyterian Secondary School was one of the things he helped to, one of the institutions he helped to establish. La Mansamokwe Town Development Association, which gave birth to the La Community Bank and also to the La Community, what do we call it, La Community Clinic, which is now being used by La Polyclinic after the demolition of the hospital, is one thing we also remember him for, and quite a number of things that he has helped to bring to life.
Okay. Right, Jeff, thank you for coming and sharing some of the rights and then explaining it to us and telling us what the day holds for you. But final words for the people of La who I believe are watching us and are mourning. Final words to watch you.
To all my town folks, to the Gadangwe community, and to the entire Ghana, for those who would be able to make it to the funeral grounds at the La Royal Palace, we expect everybody to be there today to mourn with us as we bid Ni his final farewell. For those who are unable to attend, yes, we have been informed, and that's a kind courtesy of Ghana Television, that it's going to be live on GTV.
Yes, let me mention it. So it's going to be live on GTV, and you can watch it live on our Facebook, which is the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, and on our YouTube, which is the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Of course, we'll have amazing pictures, colorful pictures, and amazing sound bites for you on our Twitter, which is the GBC Ghana, and on our Instagram is GBC Online, and that's where you can catch the live broadcast of the final funeral rites of His Royal Majesty Ni Dr. Bobby Tete Chu III La Mancha. There are more. We have live pictures from the palace. These are the live pictures, and we can see them now. Which quarters are these? Can you see which quarters are these?
I think the clergy. I can see the clergy and.
Okay, that's the clergy there.
The mass choir, yes.
Okay.
The mass choir. The service is being led by the Rich Church, but in collaboration with the La Council of Churches. There's an umbrella body for all the churches in
Okay.
So they came together to form a mass choir.
Right.
And they are seated right beside the clergy.
Our cameras are panning so we can see some of the canopies, people walking in. It's quite early, so some of the spaces aren't filled yet.
So where you see the royal umbrella is where the Jasi and the Jasinye and the entourage will be sitting.
When you say Jasi ke Jasinye, what do you mean? For the purposes of people who don't know what the Jasi is.
Okay, so the Jasi is actually a council that advises the chief. And whenever a chief is to be elected, they are the ones to whom the names of the selected ones are given, and they will go through it, scan through, and then do the actual selection and interview. So that's the Jasi. And we have the Jasinye.
There's a quarter coming. Can you perhaps identify who
it's still the Abese quarter that is around. I think no other quarter has arrived yet, so they are still marching,
parading the grounds.
Yeah.
Okay. You were telling us about the Jase. You were educating us.
So the Jase is the council that actually advises the Manche, and sometimes he sits in their meetings so that if there are issues, they together with him they try to address. So it's more like the way we have the Council of State. Okay. So they advise Ni. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Thank you, Jeffrey Tete. Tete is the Assistant Secretary of La Manche Funeral Planning Committee, and he's been sitting down with us, telling us what activities are lined up for the rest of the day and for the weekend. And GBC is going to carry it live on our Facebook, which is the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. If you don't follow us now and share. We're going to be live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, on Twitter we are the GBC Ghana, and on Instagram is GBC Online. And so yes, GTV Breakfast is where to stay. The whole of DBT is where to stay today if you want to be updated with what's happening at the funeral burial rites of Dr. Bobby Tete Chu III. We'll take a quick break, but guys, remember that it's still Friday and we are still celebrating our Heritage Month, everything Ghanaian. So we've been asking you to go on your phones, get ready with your voices. We're going to open our phone lines after the break, and you can call in And then you can sing a chorus of your favorite old school tune. And then we have our in-house DJ Tisco International is in-house. So when you sing your chorus, we'll give him and then he'll play the song. So hey, that's how the show will run. We'll be right back after this break.
The show was a jar or bar anyone concrete dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Injeja wohoma malaria enka won to them. Lufat, eye malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And aye Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a dead kratoi ajatum.
In the first 2 years, your baby will experience amazing growth in so many ways. To fuel it, they need the right nutrition. With Cerelac, 1 bowl of goodness a day provides the wholesomeness of carefully selected grains, the iron plus, which helps support brain development, and the yummy taste baby loves, assuring you the right nutrition in 1 bowl. Cerelac, it's all good, Mom.
This advert is FDA approved.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars being an African country.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure, Dan Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars being an African.
Yeah. Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars being an African.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
on-site restaurant,
or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try was suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do, we go straight to stardom. And I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Indeed, woman malaria and want to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatum.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me what? Tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Tell me, beer.
Emma will worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. Oh, now,
yes. Buga, now senior, name me and you cut down my business is a collapse. I'm out. So
won't take quick credit in Ghana.
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit. Who pesika? We are government and our private worker. Who pesika they are till hot so. We are Busumi Juma. Who is Sikadia Bibin Tempe so. Quick credit, Bema loan. And what you are kakra. Now, and let just some Cassian say. A collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBA. You hear me say, Ghana card 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now 1 hour young. Who need excuse here?
Press quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833.
Personal quick credit.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the box?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style? Complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try our suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see whatever I'm gonna do, we go straight to stardom. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't go next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Injija woman malaria enka won to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a cope.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashesa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatum.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me what? Tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Tell me, beer.
Bema wa worry me. Watch me young pon 1 week, Mr. Oh, now who papa?
Yes. Buga, now then. Senior, name me and you ma cut down my business is a collapse my house up.
So we take quick credit in Ghana.
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit. Who pesika? We are government and a private worker. Who pesika dia till hot so. We are busumi ejuma. We are sikadia bibin tempai so. Quick credit bema loan. Em what you kakra. Na enije sem kese ne say. A collateral free loaner, susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBA. You hear me say, Ghana card 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now one hour young. Who need excuse here? Credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. Persona quick credit.
Coming live from the capital. This is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what this written about?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure, Dan Botras, at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try our suicide. Let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do, we go straight to start.